exciting games on one screen. The live graphic will show you which game you are watching. It's an IHSAA version of the Red Zone. You can watch on all IHSAA TV apps, phone, Amazon Fire, Roku TV, and Apple TV. Game Day is brought to you by Logan Street Signs and Banners and Noblesville Trophies. Welcome to HCTV Sports Game Day. Welcome, I'm Brad Silbert, and this is HCTV Sports Game Day. You'll see 4 exciting games on one screen. The live graphic will show you what game you are watching. It's an IHSAA version of the Red Zone. You can watch on all IHSAA TV apps, on your phone, Amazon Fire, Roku TV, and Apple TV. Game Day is brought to you by Logan Street Signs and Banners and Noblesville Trophies. There you go. It's Friday night. It's high school football night. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Brad Silbert. To my right is Perry Williams. And Perry, we got quite a lineup of games for our fans tonight.
Absolutely. And you know, Brad, this is the first time that we will be doing 4 Hoosier Crossroad Conference games, which is 8 teams, and that's a Hoosier Crossroad Conference.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about those first games here right up front. Game number 1 on your screen will be Noblesville at Westfield. And Westfield off to a good start, Noblesville off to a slow start, but you got to take that schedule into consideration.
Absolutely. Second game, Brownsburg and Avon. That'll be IHSAATV.org.
And boy, is that going to be a game. You got 2 of the top 10 passers in the state of Indiana, and Ben Easters for Brownsburg and Henry Hessen for Avon. I saw Avon last week, and they are the real deal. They are good on both sides of the ball. They're very physical. They are very big, and I would expect that to be the battle of Hendricks County tonight, and going to be a lot of black and blue going home tonight after that game.
Absolutely. Third game will be Zionsville and Franklin Central, and that'll be brought to you by Indiana SRN. They'll be on the broadcast in Game 3 there.
Both of these teams come in with the Zionsville Eagles come in at 2-1. Franklin Central also in kind of a rebuilding mode. And the Eagles they've been kind of a little bit iffy so far this year, haven't they, Perry?
It's in this game 2.
So those are the and the fourth game is going to be Hamilton Southeastern at Fishers. And we talked about the battle for Hendricks County between Brownsburg and Avon. This is the battle for the city of Fishers for the Mudsock Trophy.
Yeah, and that's a big deal over there, and it has been all week. We're going to go to Game 2, Brownsburg Avon. It's already started here, so.
I think this is a great no call. That is timed perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. You can't play any better than that.
So another 3rd down and 2. Last time they had 3rd and 2. Avon picked it up by looking out in the right flank for Morrell. Let's see what they'll do this time. They look to the sideline. Mark Bless, the head coach here at Avon. In his 10th season at Avon, he's never had a losing record as the head coach of the Orioles. That's how good he has been. Love around the left end. Has some running room. And he's got a whole lot more than that. Down the sideline. A penalty flag comes in late. Tackled at the 2-yard line is Jalen Love. Caught from behind by Anthony Lawrence. But there's a penalty marker all the way back at the 45-yard line of Brownsburg. So let's see if this play might be coming back.
Well, we talked about the skilled positions and the speed. One thing that we need to just emphasize again, Avon has as much speed on this team as I've seen both sides, maybe more so even on the defensive side.
Mike Furnish is our referee, and he gives us the call. It is holding against Avon. That will wipe off a run that would have put the Orioles down inside of the 5-yard line.
Which gets back to my earlier point. Don't you as Brownsburg, and they know this, they cannot go asleep on the run. They just can't.
Well, it's no surprise the 2 big running plays early in this game have come over the left side.
Right.
That's because that's where left tackle Blake Fisher, the Notre Dame recruit, is.
Yes, sir.
6'7", Big Jan, 340. He makes you look tiny. That's not easy to do.
Did you say he's 350?
340.
340? I make him look tiny.
I don't know if I'd go that far. Blake Fisher, keep an eye on him, number 54, the left tackle for Avon. Hessen is flush from the pocket, rolling to his right, and he's going to get tackled behind the line of scrimmage. A QB sack for the Brownsburg Bulldogs, credited to Jonah Billups. He's number 22.
Looks like we'll have twins here to the near side. And the pistol again is Barrett, and he rolls out, throws across his body, and that one is incomplete, deflected by number 1. And right in there with his hands, and there is Pfeiffer.
Great job by Westfield reading that. And that's going to bring up 4th down for the Millers.
Something they were all too familiar with last week against Fisher's 3 and out, looking to punt. But when you've got a punter like Graydon Addison, 45.2 average, that's something you usually see in the NFL. So we'll see if he can boom one like he did last week, and he, rugby style, gets one sidewinding and almost over the head of Micah Hauser, and he'll field that for a fair catch and give Westfield decent field position at their own 33 to start this drive.
So now we'll see what happens with the high-scoring offense of the Westfield Shamrocks.
Yeah, 47 points a game coming into this through 3 games, and that's getting a redemption over a loss last year to Decatur.
This year, 609 yards, 8 touchdowns, only 1 interception on the season so far for Easters. A full-time starter last year as a sophomore. They fake it to Marcus. Easter's under some pressure. Let's fly down the sideline and overthrows the intended receiver.
He made his move, made the first man miss, got the edge down the sideline for a huge gain. Franklin Central threatening for the first time tonight.
And that was breaking on number 41, Shane Bates, the junior. He started 2 games for Zionsville, but he is by trade the slot corner. He's the 3rd corner, and he's having to step up in these big games. And you could see that time Ewers got the best of him. Now 1st and 10 inside the 20, ball on the 19. Staying in that shotgun, it will be V-Way. He will hand it to Ruley, and he's out in a flash to the 10, to the 6.
He would have been in there. He got tripped up right around the line of scrimmage, kept those feet churning, picked up a couple extra yards, got hit pretty hard right there on the 5-yard line. 1st and goal coming up, the flashes. Looking to strike first here. A nice hit there by Will Veit for Zionsville.
See, just inside 7 minutes, a good sustained drive by Franklin Central, looking to knock the door down here on Military Appreciation Night.
Watch here on 1st down for a little bit of a play action, maybe a quick slant. Look for, again, the guy that he just hit, number 5. We'll see if McClendon will be there.
Handing it off, and it's a nice one, actually, to the 2.
A little trickeration there, trick formation, quarterback option, hands the ball off, gets it down to the 2-yard line. Now you just bring the big boys in, get your fullback in there, let your running back run right behind him, and put on the board for 6.
And one coming in to be the fullback, Nate Tallhelm, the star linebacker, the senior. He's got several looks, some of the big schools yet to pull the trigger on him, looking to make a statement game here tonight. And on 2nd and 2 from the 2-yard line, this would be one of those opportunities showing the versatility in his game. Ruley is the tailback behind V-Way.
Yep, look for Gabe Simmons here to make a hole right there. There it was. He missed it. He still gets it anyway. They're going to mark him down at the 1.
Very close.
He had the hole. A great block up front by the fullback. Just made the move in the opposite direction and got caught up, tackled down at the goal line. 3rd down and 1 here. It's obviously, as you know, 4-down territory.
3rd and 1 might be generous, maybe 3rd and an inch. Here comes a sub for Zionsville.
I go quarterback keeper here.
And that player coming out, that would be a big loss for Zionsville. That's Garrett Williamson, the star linebacker for Zionsville. They're one of the leading tacklers in the state.
Comes back on us. There's only 10 guys out there for Zionsville. Quick substitution here. I would come up under center and just quarterback sneak this thing. No need to snap it, but they're going to. There's the handoff.
Ruley is into the blue end zone. Touchdown, Franklin Central.
Nice play there. Quick running. That big pass got him set up. Run.
Talking and
walking in the end zone.
Pinning 41 yards later.
Nice job by the junior walking it in. And that puts 6 points on the board.
Mason Peoning, I'm going to make sure I'm saying that one right. I meant to check that before the ball game. Peoning on to attempt the point after. 16. Oh, and they went for 2. And Simons is tackled. And that could come back to play a role, especially in a game like this, could play a role toward the latter parts of the second half, depending on how things fare at this point. But you missed an extra point in any sort of game, whether it's 2-point or the 1.
Penalty flag is thrown. The ball is fielded by Jake Leeper for Avon, but hold everything. A penalty flag thrown after the punter fell down.
Now, here's what I want to know. Was he blocked into the kicker? It was awful close. Now, there was contact with the kicker, and they're going to call roughing the kicker. But my question was he blocked into that? Because if he's blocked, all bets are off.
Mike Furnish did not make
he didn't hesitate.
any type of motion that was indeed the case. Now, this is just a 5-yard variety. This is not the personal foul. This is just running into the kicker. So Brownsburg can live with the result of the punt if they like and just say, you know what, we'll decline it.
Yeah.
And that, I believe, is what's going to happen after they talk to the sideline and Coach John Hart. They're going to leave the football at the 24-yard line.
Used to be automatic.
Or they will. You know what? I think they can take the 5-yard walk-off after.
Right.
So that's what they're going to choose to do. They'll go the 5-yard walk-off after the where the ball was spotted dead after the punt return. So that will move the ball back to the 20-yard line. 20-yard line.
About Jeff Simmons for a minute. I believe he's 6'6" and just an athletic guy. So now the pass is going to go to Leith on the left side. Picks up a gain around 6. And I'm going to go back to talking about Jeff Simmons. 2 touchdowns on the season, and he's a sophomore, only a sophomore, and his athleticism is unmatched, especially against a team like this. He also plays basketball for the Tigers, and I believe baseball in the spring. So when you get a 3-sport athlete like that and the athleticism's there, of course he's going to show up on the football field and be on the radar. So now again, 3 receivers, Reese Bowen in motion. And now Scally's going to take the ball himself. Flag on the play. I believe. Let's see what this penalty's about.
It appears it will be on Fishers. It's a hold.
So, like you mentioned, a hold on the Tigers. So now Nick Lee checks out. Reggie Cook-Graham comes into the game for the Tigers at receiver. And actually, Nick Lee did not check out. Reggie Cook-Graham just came in, and Gil Gates is going to check out.
He remains into the game. Hessen looking left, throwing that direction, and that one goes through the hands of Mitchell. A tad behind him, but incomplete. Anthony Lawrence was in coverage for Brownsburg.
Really, the last 2 passes by Avon have been behind the receivers just enough. In some games you make that play, but against Brownsburg, they've got such great coverage, it's a little more difficult to make that grab.
83 degrees.
Yes, sir.
At kickoff tonight.
Enjoying every second of it. We will forget this when it's about 10 below Sunday.
Yes, we will. Well, it's a short run. It's going to bring up 3rd and long, 3rd and 9 now after McCray was only able to pick up 1 yard over the left side of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, just nothing there. Very well defended by Brownsburg. This front line for Brownsburg is doing a really nice job.
5 receivers in the pattern here. No running backs for Hessen. As he looks to the sideline to take the play, they've gone 5 wide here on 3rd and 9. Here comes the blitz. Hessen's in trouble, and he's going to be sacked. The first man to reach him was Carl Biddings. 6 foot, 265-pound sophomore who wears number 63. And then Biddings can finish him off here at the end.
Brownsburg again really doing a good job defensively, and Rob, should end up in really good field position, barring something that goes wrong here.
They do force the punt team to come on.
Central, they very much look ready for this Friday the 13th tilt. Defensively sharp, offensively sharp. 3 minutes, 11 seconds frozen on that first quarter scoreboard for the moment. Franklin Central looking to continue to stick it to the Eagles, who traveled a long way to be here,
and
relatively
again,
speaking.
Zionsville's defense was only off the field for what, maybe a total of 5 minutes on that quick 3 and out, so Franklin Central can really pounce on this defense.
On the sweep, it's McClendon, and he's going to juke right out of bounds. Nice gain, cutting the yardage needed in half.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll set up a 2nd down and 5. You take what you can get there on the jet sweep. Nowhere to go. Wisely goes out of bounds instead of trying to push forward for that extra yard, which we do see a lot of kids do these days. Instead of getting out of bounds and protecting the football, they try to get that extra yard, and that forces sometimes fumbles. Good, smart play there to get out of bounds.
The senior showing his medal. Wide to the top of your screen is Tyler Robinson, another senior receiver. McClendon is in the slot. They like him there. They ran the sweep out of it last time. The pitch over to Ruley. Room to the top of your screen, and he hits it. He's to the 40. He's still going to the 30. There's a flag down as he's at the 10, and he's out of bounds at the 6.
An excellent play there. The wide receiver, Tyler Robinson, with a huge block to spring him free down inside the 10-yard line. We'll see what the penalty flag is here.
First time we'll get to hear from the referee, or at least we'll get a peek of the referee. It is holding against Franklin Central, of course. That'll move the flashes back.
Kermode behind Heboff. Got a couple of receivers to the right, one to the left.
Quarterback sneak.
And is it Heboff? Oh, we got a flag, far side. I wonder if they jumped a little too early.
Actually got offsides against the defense. They were in the neutral zone there.
So that'll be 1st and goal from the half-yard line.
That's really tough because, you know, you lined right over the ball. You got to take that step back.
And you stick it with Heboff again, let him sneak it in?
I think so. Our Ward, the big fella.
What do you give him, like a 3-yard touchdown run here on this one? No, they give it to Keaton Kermode. 2nd touchdown of the night for Keaton Kermode as he goes in from 1 yard.
Football, I think it rained from start to finish.
Yes, it did, and then some.
I think even the press box had a tiny hole in it. We got rained on inside.
It's the only time I held an umbrella over you and you were indoors.
Marcus catches it on the flank, but guess who's there to wrap him up? Brevin Good. What a play by the senior. His 16th tackle of the season. Had Good tackles him in space. A gain of nothing, maybe even a loss of a couple yards. Now you got 3rd and long.
Well, the defense of Avon continues to really take great angles. Good coverage, great angles, team tackling. Very difficult to move on this Avon defense.
Easters move to the shotgun now on 3rd and 9. Let's fly. That ball is bobbled and incomplete. It would have been enough for a.
He did have 2 muff punts. One resulted in a Miller's touchdown last.
This quick, it's penalties. Fakes the handoff to Hauser, completes the pass to Peaning.
Great pass and catch.
Yep, knocked out of bounds. 9-yard pickup, their first down by the passing variety. Peaning picks up 9, and that's a 1st down for the Shamrocks. Not bad so far for Simons. 2 for 2, 50 yards. As that touchdown to Peaning was a 41-yarder.
And that's tough because once you get the run going, you got to be able to play both there and respect both. So we'll see how that works out for the Millers.
And off is to Eli Patchett. Busts his way down to about the 28-yard line. It's already Patchett's 9th carry. Steady wind blowing. Almost at this point, giving the players a little something, and Noblesville fans have the sun at them right now coming from the west. Pass over the middle again, and
a little low.
Slid for it. And just short of Peening. Incomplete.
But good decision there, because when you throw low, especially if you're throwing over the middle of the field, you and I have called enough high school games that sometimes when you throw it over the middle of the field, sometimes you see the other team grabs that and takes it away. So put it somewhere where if your wide receiver can't get it, nobody can get it.
That brings up 3rd down and 5 at the Noblesville 28. Simons in the pistol with Hauser. Screen pass, throws it to Micah Hauser, picks it up at the 28. And
he's going to go in.
Into the end zone he goes on a 3rd and 5. Micah Hauser.
What a great play call by Westfield Shamrocks. Little screen pass after running the ball so well, doing a little slant route, a little low, then right off the bat, 3rd down, little screen pass to Hauser, and Hauser walks right in the end zone.
Now does Westfield, nope, they're going to attempt to kick this time since they missed the 2-point on the first touchdown. 4:33 left here, first quarter. The kick up.
And with that being said, with about 1 minute and 40 seconds left, we're going to take our first break here on the Fisher Sports Network.
Well, another big 3rd down here for the Bulldogs. Looking left. Catch is made. Not going to be enough, however, for a first down. Luke Lacey was just shy of the marker. Tackled over there by Anderson before he could get to the marker. So now you're looking at 4th and 2 from the plus 45 of Avon.
I think as a receiver there, Rob, you got to know where the first down's at. Your route may be 6-7, but running an extra couple there, because that might have been a first down.
It worked. It worked. It worked, Big Jan. They tried to draw Avon off sides, and the Orioles took the bait.
They sure did. You got to sell it hard. Brownsburg did exactly that, and Avon bought.
So think about this drive. Brownsburg's picked up a first down on a bobbled punt snap, and now they get a gift of a first down because of the defensive encroachment. And the play is blown dead this time.
Defensively, you got to be talking there. The captain, the linebackers, the seniors, everybody's got to be talking. Listen, do not jump. I mean, you've got to know that 3rd and short is very vulnerable for that hard snap count, and you as a defense have got to be communicating, because your instinct is, hey, get off the football quick. But you've got to make that adjustment on those 3rd and shorts.
Well, there was a whistle, but there's no flag.
No,
and
they blew it dead.
They just stopped play, and now they've reset the ball and said, here we go, guys. So it's 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. To Marcus. Lowers the shoulder. Finds his way ahead to the 37, where he'll be tackled there, and it'll be coming up 2nd down and 7 coming up as we're under a minute to play in this opening quarter.
Once again, Brownsburg go.
And met by a couple defenders. He might have gotten up to the 22, 23.
Starting to read the defense a little bit with that option play.
It's almost tough when you're 5'8".
The good news is if
Again. It appears he's actually not on the field. So now Scally in motion. We're going to keep it himself again, pushing his way to the middle. And they stop him right at the 1-yard line. And I'm wondering if Coach Windler's going to go for it here. Fourth down, 30 seconds left.
I bet he goes for the sneak that Rue has done quite often this season. Last week he had 2 rushing touchdowns with 2 carries for 2 yards.
Yeah, we've seen it all season, so but the Royals are anticipating that. They have the box stacked. So now man in motion. He's going to keep himself. And it's a touchdown for the Tigers. He brings that one in himself. So now the Tigers on the board first. Tigers. Now Jack Phillips here to keep the PAT. Great play by Marcus Rue. We've seen it all season long. The PAT is up and good. So now that brings the Tigers up 7-0 against the Royals. Great start for the Tigers. They needed that conversion. It was fourth and...
Well, it's hard to tell there, but obviously the official right on top of it.
Ashton Garnett, a junior, number 21 for Brownsburg, was right there, but he couldn't quite pull it into his body. And Avon is able to keep possession. And John Hart went all the way out past the numbers.
Well, he didn't think
to argue with the officials. He thinks that should have been Brownsburg football.
Yeah, he didn't think the whistle should have blown. Didn't feel like it was a dead ball yet, and that his players still were in the fight to recover that thing.
Jalen Love now back in as Avon's number one tailback. Both he and McCray have split the snaps tonight. Final 18 seconds here of the quarter, and this is Love carrying the football, and he is met immediately, and then unfortunately getting up slowly off the deck for Brownsburg is Jalen Wilson, junior linebacker number 41. He's up on his own feet. Good to see that because he fell awkwardly. He's back up on his own 2 feet, and we are at the end of the...
Tell you that you can only run it with your quarterback so long, and then they figure it out. So anyway, you could be sneaky.
But yet again, Sheridan runs it so well every year, and a lot of teams just are fooled. Barrett back to pass, has the roll out left, finds room and time, and across the middle. Ooh. That could have been called for intended for 2 different receivers for Noblesville. 85, Old Montarzi, and 23, Zach Blevins, brings up 3rd and 15.
So 3rd and long.
And Barrett he's gotten some things going rushing wise. Needs to get that first pass completed and kind of get himself comfortable there, or else he's going to start rushing himself like he looks like he's started to do now. Big 3rd and 15 at their own 31, 1:06 left first quarter. Barrett gets antsy, low snap, and through the air he goes, and that ball almost picked off there by number 12, Maximus Webster. And that'll bring on the punt team for the Millers.
So they got a little bit there on that offensive set there, but it'll put, once again, it's going to put the Shamrocks really in some pretty good field position here. Still 1:02 left to play in the first.
Addison, rugby style, scrambles a little bit, and then gets that punt away. Hauser going to stay away from it and let it roll. And this one's going to be
great
down.
Punt.
Yes.
Now that's how you do it right there.
28 and 20. That's 57 yards net on that punt, and he had a 73-yarder that got cleared down to, I believe,
That is a completed catch. That was number 86 on the reception, DeAndre Rhodes. So Rhodes, one of his favorite receivers last week against Avon. I believe Rhodes had a touchdown. So that does bring up first down for the Royals. So now here's Hobson, the shotgun yet again. We've seen that 3-receiver formation, different variations obviously for the Royals. So now Ben Boysen in motion. Now Hobson back to pass, looking deep. DeAndre Rhodes hops up and catches it. Great catch there, Brian.
Knack for you, man. Come on.
Hey, thank you, Avon. That was awesome. I just want to say
that was awesome. That was awesome. Hessen to throw on now 3rd and 14. He's got a man down the sideline. Incomplete. He tried to go for it all. They were trying to throw the home run ball, and Mitchell couldn't run it down. Incomplete.
Well, the Avon fans, you heard it there, felt like there was not only a little contact, but a lot of contact. Let's let you make the call at home. A little bit of contact. I like the no call. He didn't invade his stride at all, and I like the no call. I just don't think there was enough there. Not that he needs my opinion, but I, in this case, happen to agree with the no call. I just felt like it's two guys. Both of them were fully in stride, and nothing was kept him from catching the football if it was there.
Mason Miller on to do the punting, and again, another stoppage of play right before the snap of the ball. This is going to be delay of game on Avon.
Yeah,
now, this gets very difficult because the punter, Mason Miller, already is at the back of the end zone. There's just not much more room for him to back up.
Coach Bless not going to be happy about all these flags for sure.
So Mason Miller with his heels literally on the white of the chalk at the back of the end zone. He does get rid of it. That's a pretty good punt, all things considered. That's a really good punt, actually. That punt traveled about 63 yards in the air.
Going offensively, it's been a great job by Franklin Central's defensive unit and the defensive line to really establish dominance here throughout the first quarter and the first minute here in the second.
To your point, first drive of the game, stalled out on 3rd and short. Interception last time, didn't get anything going in between. And we'll see moving with the wind. It'll be Colin Price. He's out of the middle. The one arm tackle, the one defensive lineman got him on the shoulder pad and slowed him up, but a nice gain for Price.
Yeah, nice pickup of 8 there, right up the middle. Great pressure by the offensive line to move guys out of the way. It'll be a 2nd down and short.
As the young man that wears number 31, George Gordon, senior DB, was there to wrap him up.
As the night goes on, we'll name some of these front linemen for Brownsburg and Avon. There's some special players on both these front lines.
And some young ones, too.
Yes, sir. Big and
Easter's
strong.
out of the backfield to Marcus, and he's going to be wrapped up, and he's not even going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. That play was sniffed out wonderfully by the Avon defense.
Avon loves to pressure. They'll send a lot. Might have been a block or a block in the back right there. Didn't see it. Referees didn't see it. But, man, the linebackers just get to the football.
And Good, by the way, it was Good, number 43, who blew that play up. He didn't get credited with the tackle, but he disrupted that play. Now it's 3rd and 11. Easters is flush from the pocket. He's going to tuck and try to run. Oh, and he stays on his feet, and I think he got the first down. He lost his balance as his legs were cut out from under him for a millisecond by Clayton Peters, but the QB was able to keep his momentum moving forward, and he gets a first down.
Yeah, what an individual effort here. Was able to stay on his feet. Great job of running. Knows exactly where that chain is. Dives and gets a big first down for the Bulldogs.
Neither one of these QBs known for their running ability, but that was a huge play by Easters. Back to Marcus. Jump cut in the hole, and he's inside the 35-yard line. He's running with some ferocity now. Donovan Marcus, the Ball State commit, gives Brownsburg another first down.
I love the way he runs. Gets his shoulders square, stays low. If he gets any hole at all, Rob, he's going to get you a good 4 and 5 yards, that time even more. Take a look. There it is. He wasn't even touched the first 5 yards. Great job of blocking by that front line of the Bulldogs.
They'll go right back to him. Similar play. Now he's kicking it to the right sideline. He gets his legs cut out from under him. Once he got over there, it's going to be a gain of about 9 yards. Riley Browder finally pushed him out of bounds. But all of a sudden, Brownsburg has found something here in the running game.
Take a look here. This is the trap. Brownsburg pulls the two left side blockers and gets the lead block. And, man, when you get those big guys out in front of him, you're right, this running game. And I thought when we started this game, don't fall asleep on this running game for Brownsburg or Avon. But right now, Brownsburg really with some momentum running the football.
And right back to Marcus, and this time nowhere to go. That time the Avon defense came fast and furious. It was Josh Jones, number 40, who finished him off.
Really tight line splits by the Bulldogs. They're going to pull the left guard, but Avon in attack mode from the linebacker position really gets a good tackle that time is Josh Jones.
3rd and 5.
At the University of Cincinnati. So
I'm trying to think of where Will Harrison before Bales went, but he was another great kicker. I mean,
they do a good job, and but I can always remember since we've been doing. I mean, since as long as I've been doing this for the last 5 years, it's and you made a point too earlier. It's amazing to watch these kids, these young men, just grow into the sport and take their career and their talents to the next level. It's a fun thing to watch.
And one thing you normally don't see, 22 for Westfield, Micah Hauser, he played every game last year as a freshman, and he might pitch and catch here again, and that's number 80 for Westfield, and that's Reed Sheppers, 6'2" junior tight end. Takes it down from the 13 all the way to the 7, looks like. 6 yards on the pickup by Sheppers, and a 3rd and 4 at the Noblesville 7. They have to get to the 3. Good crowd and still developing as the game rolls on. Timeout Westfield, 8:59 left here in the first half of play.
Their offense hopefully would really be gelled with all the youngsters, and the defense would certainly carry them, and indeed it has, and then some.
Big 3rd and 6 here. That's an understatement. Brownsburg in the red zone. Incomplete, thrown behind the intended receiver. That seemed to be some miscommunication there because Luke Lacey was still down the field when the ball was thrown behind him, running down the field, I should say.
The slot was wide open. I thought he might go to the slot because he had a step on his defense.
Was looking, made one man miss, avoided the sack, lets this guy go up and get it. A great catch, hauled it in and down inside the 5-yard line.
It's Price, one cut to the 3.
That's all right. You got plenty of time here. 4 down territory. Let's go back and check out that pass play.
Almost sacked.
Yeah, right here he sees the pressure, puts a stiff arm, makes a miss, fires it up, 4th down. You got to get rid of the football. He does. Could have been a pass interference there too, but a great catch hauled in by Brody Whitesell to set up this upcoming 2nd down and goal.
The Flashes standing against their own end zone, the same one they scored in 1 quarter ago. Price awaits to the right of Weitzman. He will throw instead. A dangerous throw, and it's intercepted.
He can go to the house.
A lot of green grass before him.
Got to get a block here.
Cooper giving pursuit.
Got to cut back. Cut back here. There's the cut back into the end zone. Wow, what a play. What an interception. Run it perfectly. 100 yards the opposite way. And instead of it being 7-7, it's 14-0. What a huge play there by the defense for Franklin Central.
And I apologize to number 16. He's not on the roster, and we're trying to figure out. Check that, Sean Sullivan. My apology. We were both looking at an expired roster, I think, that we had before. And field goal attempt is missed and picked up by the Millers, and that's picked up by number 9, Carson Sanders.
He should have ran it in. It cost him. He read the route, made the pick, and was off to the races. Had one cut back there at the 20-yard line and got in for the touchdown, make it 14-0 as the extra point goes through.
With 7 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first half, Zionsville trails Franklin.
Touchback. I told you earlier it's tough to find an open seat tonight, so if you know someone with a fire department.
So that brings it 3rd down for the Tigers. HK Graham gonna check out here. So I'm interested to see what the Tigers go for here. Are they going to hit Dylan Scally on the run, or are they going to try for more of that passing action?
And it's been a quiet night from Nick Lee, so maybe look for them to try to get him incorporated in the offense.
It's also been a quiet night for Jeff Simmons. Only one passing attempt to him. Looks downfield for Jeff Simmons. Just a little too high, not tall enough.
We saw Evan Lance with a big hit on Marcus Ruth.
So now Jack Phillips is going to come out, pump the ball for the Tigers. And Phillips, top kicker in the state. He for the season.
We'll do that again. Great block, though.
Hessen to throw, flushed out of the pocket, and will be sacked. He may have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. That was number 83, Monty Jackson, the defensive end, who pulled him down with one hand.
Yes, he did.
Now, I don't know if he'll get credit for a sack because he did get back to the original line of scrimmage, but what an individual effort by Jackson.
6'2", 230 pounds, and a junior for Brownsburg.
There's only 24 seniors total on the Brownsburg roster. There's only 20.
Couple quick scoring updates for you here and other games that we're following so far. 7-7 between Lawrence North and North Central. Chittard over Cathedral 7-3 in the second quarter. Center Grove leading Ben Davis 10-7 in the second quarter. Guerin and Brebeuf just getting underway over at Brebeuf. Carmel and Pike are tied at 7. Let's go back to the game action.
Tony Allo.
Regular starting safety for Franklin Central, and there's that cutback. And fortunately for him, steps into a big opportunity and takes it to the house.
Yeah, the great play to bat the ball in the air, let your teammate go get it, grabs it at the goal line, and he saw daylight the entire way. He was thinking pick six, had to make a move, but the blockers followed him, got him down to about the 10-yard line where he made that cutback into the end zone. He went for a touchdown. And instead of being 7-7, we're talking about Zionsville having all the momentum in the world. Franklin Central leads by 2 touchdowns, 14-0.
And almost just before that was a 39-yard completion on 4th down for Zionsville to be on the doorstep. And then to have it go the complete opposite way, Zionsville having to dig themselves out of a hole with just under 7 minutes to go in this first half.
And obviously hindsight is 20/20. But on second down, when you've got a workhorse like Colin Price, I don't understand why you're going to the air there at the 2-yard line.
We'll see what Zionsville does on first down. They will go to the workhorse and Colin Price. He moves to the left side, gets it to midfield, and crosses it to the 40.
And he is going, and now down to about the 29, 28-yard line. Huge interception.
What a play by the Shamrocks.
I'll see the replay here, and he just honestly plays center field. Couldn't quite tell who that ball was intended for. Hauser's such a great athlete. Rolls all the way down to about the 28, where they will take over. Short field, trying to put this to a 3-score game.
He can run and he can catch. And that was a great job by the Shamrocks. And like I told you, it's tough when you throw over the middle of the field. That is a tough area, especially in high school.
Roughly a 37-yard interception return there by Hauser, the sophomore. And Westfield back to it. Simons in the pistol with Patchett. Fakes the handoff, goes over the middle, and finds, looks like number 80. And that is Reed Shepers for a big first down to get them first and goal. Down to the 9, so a 19-yard pickup. So 7 first downs for Westfield. And they'll quickly run this ball. Patchett carries that. Looks like he picked up 2 on that play. Trying to pick up, Patchett again, finds room, and he's trying to dig his way all the way to the end zone. He'll be marked down.
Oh, it's going to be close.
Yep, down to the 1. He tried to keep his legs moving.
Yep, and that's what I said. Those running backs, especially at Westfield, you think you got them. The skills that they've been taught is move your feet.
Yep, that's why you cannot tackle high no matter what level. And trying for a second effort.
Not going to get it that
Not
time.
gonna. And that looks like that was again Eli Patchett. And brings up a 4th and goal at the 1. Like we keep saying, this would be a huge stop for Noblesville. They need some sort of momentum defensively to get them going offensively. And we'll see if they can. They've got a timeout in Noblesville. 6:26 left here. First
sideline, and gets tackled by the punter inside the 30-yard line. Chase saves a touchdown.
Well, the one piece of Avon's arsenal is man speed for sure, but they can make you pay in so many different ways. They've been quiet for the most part, but this is a great individual effort here. You talk about highlighting the skilled position players. Here's one right here in Wooden.
A 36-yard punt return for Tyler Anderson, the senior. He's a backup defensive back, but he's a punt return specialist. You saw why right there. Hessen will turn and hand to Love. And there's a penalty flag thrown. Whoa, what? You talk about grown man strength. That again was Monty Jackson, who tackled the running back with one hand. Again, there is a penalty flag.
4th and goal at the 1. And the pistol. Simons rolls out, throws across his body back, and
what a play.
Pass is completed.
What a play.
Little fade pattern to number 81, Levi Castor.
Nice job by the Millers, by the Shamrocks. That'll put up 6 more points. By the way, 4 minutes left in the second quarter over in Fishers. Fishers leads 7-0.
I figured that would be quite a scoring game or a defense.
Avon says we're going to keep this ball on the ground and we're going to establish a running game. That ball will get out to just inside of the 30-yard line. Bring up a 2nd down and 13.
Avon once again with the lead block. Boy, you kind of feel like if you're Avon with 4 minutes left, this is kind of a really like to get a score here going into halftime for sure.
Again to Love, but this time nowhere to run. Dane Middlebrook, number 95. The young man will be playing at Tulane next year. 6'2", 300-pound defensive tackle. Makes the tackle for Brownsburg. Number 95, Middlebrook. He is a load in there.
He had 25 tackles for losses last year.
Woo!
For losses.
Wow. And now we have a penalty flag thrown.
Still good field position. You're on the 41. Nice long drive here. I don't expect them to go to the air that often unless they have to.
Ruley is the running back to the right of V-Way in the gun. He sends McClendon in motion. He will hand it up to the up back, which is Ruley, and he will get a few yards before Zionsville pushes him back.
So 2nd down and 8 coming up. You're showing different lineups. You're showing different types of ways to run the football, and that's keeping Zionsville's defense honest. We'll see if they continue to go with those different looks. Remember, we saw last possession, the end around. We've seen a couple quote-unquote trick plays. They're throwing different runs at Zionsville, and that could keep them off guard and find a big chunk of yardage here on one of these next couple plays.
It's Ruley, it's V-Way, same formation. The handoff to Ruley. Nice run by Josh as he gets it across the 45 to the 47-yard line.
Big 3rd down here with 4 minutes to go.
Starts with a 10-yard cushion. Then look, absolutely nowhere for this ball to be caught. Beautiful defense, man. I'm telling you. You want a highlight reel on man-to-man coverage on both sides. This is the game.
And that will bring up a long field goal try of 44 yards. Here for Nick Bandy, the place kicker for Avon. But before we do that, timeout is called by Brownsburg.
3 receivers. Jeff Simmons on the left, Nick Leaf and Reese Bowen on the right. So Rue takes the snap. Gonna run it himself, but tied up by the Royals line.
That was Evan Lance on the tackle.
Yeah, Rue tried to run, but those Royals line were just closing in. Evan Lance obviously got the tackle there. So now that brings up 3rd and 10 for the Tigers. Let's see what they can start here. obviously for the Tigers, you want another touchdown before the end of the half. So Will takes the snap now.
Does it have enough? It does not. It is just short of the crossbar. The Brownsburg fans applaud.
What it's going to be. Look for a quick pass here, maybe get a couple chunk yards, maybe break one, make a couple guys miss. Quick pass there, and it's
tipped
deflected
away.
at the line of scrimmage.
Connor Upmore. He was trying to go to Sam Toe, the speedster for Franklin Central. Upmore, a former safety, moved up to the defensive line, was having nothing of it.
We'll see what happens here. A punt. I believe Zionsville has 2 timeouts left, if I'm not mistaken. You got plenty of time with just under 4 minutes to go to be able to get a drive going here. You've got to get points here if you're Zionsville.
Last time out, Franklin Central had excellent field position off of a punt. You would assume Zionsville will have something likewise.
2 returners back right around the 40-yard line.
One Miles Cox, one Dom Vecchiarella. Here is the punt from Crutchfeld. Vecchiarella will fair catch it at the 43-yard line.
Good play.
It's at least the direction the officials are pointing. And indeed, this is holding against Brownsburg.
As Zionsville comes into this week 2-1. Not going to be easy at Franklin Central tonight. 1st and 10 at the 49 of Westfield. Barrett hands it off, and a whole host of Eli Patchett, along with number 5, Mark McLaurin. Meet up with him. McLaurin, number 5, is 280 on that front line for Westfield. Also David Harder, 92 in there. No gain there.
Handoff, met right away.
Kniper again. Looks like he gets possibly to the 46, maybe 47. 2-yard pickup. Tough 2 yards for Kniper. Brings up 3rd down and 7.
Third and long. Ball on the 46-yard line.
All right, 2nd down now and 7 for the Tigers. Keaton Kermode in motion. Heboff pitches it back.
Good catch.
As Butler's going to get caught. Boy, he's going to lose some serious yardage on there.
The pass completes this one to number 3.
Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. They're going to call it short, so it's going to be 4th and 1, and you got to go for it.
Picked up 6, and we're going to have to get, that's another number that looks like not updated. Number 3. Don't see one on the Miller roster that we were given.
Timeout.
Yep, looks like.
Assume they'll take a timeout if Brownsburg doesn't get a first down here, or if the clock does not stop.
The penalties have just let the air out of this first half.
And it's all different varieties, right? We've had pre-snap penalties. We've had a running into the punter. We've had holding penalties. Easters looks to the sideline here, and the play clock running out. But before it does, timeout taken by Brownsburg. Bulldogs wanted to use every single second they could of the game clock before.
Really, they didn't.
Well, they broke like it's a timeout. Franklin Central thought it was a timeout. The referees
They got
thought
to
it
look
was
at the
a timeout.
clock because this is going to run out. Yeah, there we go.
Goes.
Like I said, 2:40 back on the clock. I'll say there's no way that you can let 2:40 run off. So we'll see what happens there. Great timeout by Franklin Central.
Cam Cooper, this is a very nice punt. Well, Ewers will let it bounce, and it'll take a tremendous Zionsville roll. Still going inside the 10, inside the 5, down at the 1, maybe the 1 foot line.
Wow, for the brand, a 70-plus.
Down, here we go.
Big 4th down.
Low
Barrett,
snap.
Barrett keeps it himself, and he finds room, and he's across 40 down to about the 37-yard line, picks up 3, needed 1. And big fourth down again. They've converted 2 fourth downs here in the first half.
Clock keeps moving. Approaching 2 minutes left in the second quarter. 1st and 10. Ball on the 37-yard line. Shotgun formation. 4 wide.
You can take your time, but there are still 2 minutes left here first half. Noblesville, it'd be nice if they could get themselves some points on the board. Barrett.
Snap.
We'll see if they bring the house here out of shotgun.
And after Rulli is hit in the end zone, he's ridden backwards. Did he get out? He did. Barely to the line of scrimmage.
We almost had my favorite play in sports, a safety, but they marked them down right at the original line of scrimmage, so no gain there. And Zionsville might have taken a timeout there. They did.
Smart timeout by the Eagles. And this is an interesting situation. We've talked about this so far this game, that there's a intriguing matchup is the Zionsville offensive line running game versus the Franklin Central defensive line linebacking core. This is the inverse, a little bit unheralded. The young offensive line by Franklin Central, the new defense unit for Zionsville, trying to butt heads, and this could be a big test for that Franklin Central line made up of 4 sophomores.
Well, and here's why you call a timeout if you're Zionsville. You get stopped here on the next 2 plays, then you're forcing to punt out of the back of their own end zone, and the snaps haven't been the best so far when Franklin Central has punted the football, and they've been low kicks, so you could look to maybe get a block here. And then, even if you don't get a block, you're going to get the ball within the 50-yard line with a chance to maybe score. So, love the play call there by Zionsville to stop them. Almost got the safety. Call the timeout. We'll see if they get another.
Yards. You can start to, feel that Jaden Barrett's getting more comfortable in that quarterback slot.
Absolutely.
Since he's played receiver the past 2 years.
1 minute.
2nd down and 7 at the 34 of the Shamrocks for the Millers. Barrett in the pistol with Knieper. Play action fake, and Carson Sanders, almost reeled it in, but he gets smoked there by 29 David Fry.
But again,
down at the 23, clutch run by Josh Rulli.
Ball came out at the end there. They marked him down right at the 25-yard line. Made one-man miss, got great blocking up front, and that's huge to move the chains. We'll see what Franklin Central does here with 2:09 left in the half.
I almost say this is another example of what could have been for Zionsville. They have a interception in their attacking end zone, have an opportunity, a safety slips through their grasp. Now Franklin Central looks to pile on, B-way, through the hands of McClendon.
He heard footsteps thrown just behind him.
Barrett in the pistol, gets the snap, he rolls out right. The lefty, up the field he goes, and this one's going to be caught by Carson Sanders, and he is going to be down to about the 2-yard line. A 32-yard pickup by Sanders.
Better hurry. It'll start back up here in a second. 38 seconds.
Yep, they can spike it because they've A, got a timeout, and B, there's 32 seconds left, roll and going.
I don't think they're going to spike it. I think this is.
And now they're going to call timeout. Looks like, though, Westfield called a defensive timeout. Jake Gilbert.
And tackled by Isaiah Street for Brownsburg, and the special teams, the sophomore. But it's going to be Avon ball at their own 34-yard line with 44 seconds to play.
Don't you just love those ball players who just refuse to go down? They have that mechanism, that good center of balance, just not go down easy at all.
And Anderson is not a big guy,
No.
5'9", 150 pounds. But he runs with great strength and balance. We saw him with a couple big plays against Columbus North in week 1 in the return game. Hessen incomplete. His receiver fell down. Coming out of the cut, Murrell actually fell down. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Rob at the half, Center Grove 13, Ben Davis 7 in a conference game.
Brownsburg beat Ben Davis in the.
As Barrett in the pistol, back to pass and fades one out there. Sanders 6'3", and pass broken up Looks like that's 88 Dane Wheeler. And speaking of the Hamilton County Reporter, don't be too critical. I'll also be writing tonight's story for tomorrow morning's paper, whether you get that in paper form or online at readthereporter.com. Barrett in the pistol again. Second goal at the 2. Fades one again. And into the hands of Micah Hauser. Picks one off again. 20, 30. And he's going to be stopped by
still on
his feet, 45, and spins twice and up to the 47-yard line. And wow, picked that ball off. Interception, and watch, wow. Eli Patrick trying to keep up with him to block, and Hauser just too quick. Spins himself all the way up to the 47. And if you're Westfield, 13 seconds left, do you just take a knee, or do you try and
Oh, well, if you ask me, you just, well, you never know, because, the one thing with Westfield is even when they run the ball, they can still run the ball for 20 yards. And Coach Gilbert, I think he's at least got one timeout. And they're going to kneel it.
So that brings up 2nd and 10. Royals only 14 seconds around to get anything started here. The Tiger defense really needs to show out now if they're going to have any chance of putting a stop to whatever the Royals have planned.
The ball will be down to the 12-yard line, but there is a flag thrown.
Comes some blitz from the Tigers. And a flag. You see a pass interference call on Shane Cole. That will be right on the goal line with 10 seconds left in the half. That's a costly mistake. Shane Cole trying to make sure that his receiver was not anywhere near the ball. So that does bring up 2nd and goal. Costly mistake like you just mentioned. Only 10 yards for the Royals to get a touchdown. This whole drive has mostly been them getting first downs based off of penalties.
Yes. They'll have 10 seconds here to try and score. 10 seconds and 3 plays.
So now a pass. Oh, that was intended for DeAndre Rhodes, but Jackson John with great coverage.
We almost saw an Odell-like catch there from DeAndre.
DeAndre Rhodes definitely has the size to make those types of catches, but that pass was a little too far for him. So now, only 7 seconds left in this first half. 2nd down for the Royals. This could very well be the last play of the drive. Hobson again looking to pass. Another great coverage by Jackson Dunn.
And look for him to maybe even go for it again. Actually, it appears they're going to bring out their kicking unit.
Interesting choice. We've seen them go for it on 4th down, when they were much further back. So, obviously the Royals trying to get on the board here.
And obviously time is a factor with 4 seconds left of the half.
Yeah. Jackson Dunn actually blocked the last field goal attempt from the Royals. And he doesn't go in.
Great block by Jackson Dunn. 2nd on...
His man. Tackled after a first down gain is Remington Gall. Now the clock will stop to move the chains. 11 seconds left. Avon will have to hurry. Let's see if they'll just spike the ball.
He's such a big target.
Hessen's under center, so he will spike. Sorry there, Big Jim.
No.
8 seconds
You're
left.
fine.
8 seconds.
I just want to say, Rob, he is such a good target. I'm just a little surprised Avon doesn't look for him a little more.
It's his 12th catch of the season. Yeah, he's 6'4".
Yeah, big guy, good hands.
185.
I think I would see him a little more involved, but they obviously have Of course, when you got the skill positions that do it wide receiver, you got it. But, man, I like the tight end. I do.
So it's 2nd and 10. Avon does still have a timeout remaining. So they could try to throw one in the middle of the field and quickly get a timeout and try to get their field goal kicker on. Hessen goes up top, and it is caught. Incomplete, but a penalty flag thrown. Remington Gall had it for a moment. It's pass interference, but again, that's a good penalty in high school football.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I'm not necessarily thinking that might have been his thought process, but I think it works out right.
If you can save a touchdown, again, it's not a spot foul.
No, just make sure he doesn't catch it.
The only negative here, if you're Brownsburg, is it does put Avon into field goal territory.
He's holding all the way.
So, while if we were in the NFL, you'd be looking at a ball at the 1 yard line with 4 seconds left. You don't have that here, but again, you do put Avon into field goal territory with the penalty. That's the one downside.
Yeah, but you'll give him 3 versus the
absolutely
7, too.
instead of 7. Absolutely.
But still, I mean, if Avon doesn't connect, hey, all things work out for you if you're Brownsburg. However, at a minimum, they're just going to give up 3 if Avon makes the field goal.
Bandy missed a moment ago from 44. This one's from 32. Bandy lets it fly, and it is wide left. So if indeed it was the strategy of Brownsburg to take those defensive penalties, it worked.
A quick slant route here across the 40. Another run up the middle. You can see a field goal attempt coming up here if they get a good chunk of yardage here.
Freeman has tried in excess of 58. He's kicked 60s in practice, but that's a different situation. Weissman looks for more and throws it over Vecchiarella.
That would have been interesting had he put the pass on target. That would have got the first down and moved the chains down around the 45-yard line. You'd be about 7 or 8 yards away. We'll see what they do here. You got to get a big play, and you got to get it in a hurry with only 12 seconds on the clock.
Weissman has a big play in his pocket. He followed it up with a disastrous one. He's 3 of 10, 2 interceptions, 41 yards, and he needs a 4th completion. And Zionsville does as well in the worst of ways. Cooper in motion from the bottom to the top. Here's Weissman. Here comes a blitz. It's a pop pass to Price. He has to squirt out of this, and he does not. Stop at the 45, and most likely that will do it for this first half.
It absolutely will. All Franklin Central. The defense stepping up huge, forcing 2 turnovers, 1 for a pick 6 with 2 seconds to go here. We'll see.
I think there's a flag down.
There is a flag right at the 45-yard line with 2.2 seconds on the clock.
It's against Zionsville.
An unsportsmanlike conduct penalty there on Zionsville. That'll bring it back 15 yards. And I think now you just go ahead, you take a knee, you go to the locker room, down 14-0. I'm sure Coach Scott Turnquist will have a big-time motivational speech to give to the Eagles at halftime.
It'll be much needed. We'll look at those second half or the first half stats right before we go to our halftime programming. Very big game, maybe the biggest, one of the biggest in the state in the HCC. Brownsburg-Avon. Brownsburg leads 3-0 at the halftime.
Prevent defense here for Franklin Central, just in case Zionsville tries anything on 3rd and 24. I don't expect anything more than maybe just a handoff or possibly even just take a knee.
We'll see. Zionsville has 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top. That'll be handoff to Price. He's going to pad his stats here, or maybe he won't, as he's whirled down, and that is a fitting
way.
Come on.
They are playing with fire, Keith. They really are.
Yeah, because it's again, they're close to getting the ball.
Yeah, and it's a short field where they're at, so any mistake, not only can Triton Central capitalize.
Well, they're going to call intentional grounding here.
Oh, they are?
They sure are. They're just going to call that intentional grounding. That got to the line of scrimmage, did it not?
I don't know. But it's a loss of down and yards on the play. And, boy, here's where this is big, Keith, because if something happens and Triton Central scores again, it is a running clock in the second half, Keith. And
yeah.
That's a huge factor right now.
Right. They called this intentional grounding, Sean, and we don't have a replay. If it got to the line of scrimmage, I don't think that should be intentional grounding because there was a receiver in that area. Maybe not.
I didn't, there's the tackle box and all that kind of stuff, and are you using a real worm or are you using like a what kind of lure you're using. Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Yeah, I gotcha.
He's taking it from the end zone now, but he does hand it off tonight. He does have a fumble, doesn't get much as the clock continues to run now. As we're getting close, 2nd and 25. And does Triton Central take a timeout now? They do. We'll take a break. We'll be back for the last 30 seconds. You're watching Indiana SRN.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis Central.
Well, Perry, most of our games are at halftime right now, and got a lot of action to report here. We're going to talk specifically about our 4 games, but before we get to those, let's talk about some of the other games going on here in Central Indiana. Over at North Central and Lawrence, or North Central and Lawrence North. Better get that right. They're tied at 14-14. Cathedral and Chittard, the Chittard is ahead 7-3. Center Grove over Ben Davis 13-7. Triton Central 28, Monrovia 10. Tri-Central over Clinton Prairie 28-0.
What do you got on Carmel there, Brad?
Carmel, we have got a 7-7 tie between Carmel and Pike right now. And we've also got New Pal ahead of Mount Vernon 7-0. Guerin and Brebeuf is ahead by 1 point, 7-6. That game didn't start till 7:30, so that's a little bit behind.
Yeah, in fact, Guerin just tied it up right before, right there in the second quarter, and then missed the extra point.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm sure Coach Dilly won't be real happy about that.
And down in Martinsville, the visiting Decatur Central team is ahead of Martinsville 22-0. Let's talk about our games that we've got on here. Game 1, Noblesville and Westfield. I guess, unfortunately for the Millers, not a big surprise that the Shamrocks have gone out to a pretty decent-sized lead.
Well, you and I know that, talking to Coach Jake Gilbert, he feels like he's got a very good ball club this year, and in his quarterback Simons and Eli Padgett and Hauser. I mean, he's got a host of kids that have played. That most of that offensive team is back from last season, so the Millers just having a tough time getting any kind of offense going. So not only with the new defense, I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses. You lose 33 seniors from last year's team, and 16 of them started 3 years or more, 2 to 3 years. So that's a tough thing to overcome.
Well, Lady Luck just has not been on the side of the Millers tonight. They had a 1st and goal, like at the 2-yard line. Ended up that the Shamrocks intercepted the ball and took it back to midfield, and took the Millers out of a chance to at least get on the board. So it is 20-0 there at halftime. Game number 2 is shaping up to be everything that we thought it would be between Avon and Brownsburg. The Avon Orioles had a great opportunity in the first quarter. Great opportunity. They got called on a hold and lost a 50-yard gain on the play in getting into scoring position. As of right now at halftime, the Brownsburg Bulldogs, where they're in Oriole country, are leading 3-0. Any surprise about that?
Well, I think a little bit as far as the score. We knew it was going to be close, but only 3-0 at halftime. With the likes of Brownsburg's Ben Easter and Henry Hessen and Avon, with the numbers they put up this season,
both
it's kind of surprising.
Passing,
it's kind of surprising a little bit, So I guess that's a surprise as far as how many points are scored. Not surprised that it's a close game.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing with those two teams. Avon and Brownsburg are both very, very good football programs, among the top 5 in the state. So this is a kind of a very, very an early season matchup to see who's going to prevail. But then, of course, these two can meet in the sectional again. So they will probably see each other again. But 3-0 is no surprise if you look at the size of both of those teams, the quickness of both of those teams, and especially the defense on both those teams. They both do a great job defensively. Our third game is over at Franklin Central with the Zionsville Eagles down visiting the Flashes down in Franklin Central. That's a 14-0 lead in favor of Franklin Central. Zionsville, don't know a whole lot about that team this year, and not a whole lot about Franklin Central.
They've got a great running back at Zionsville and Colin Price. I mean, in 79, he's 671 yards going in the game tonight with at an 8.5 clip and 7 touchdowns. Okay, and he got over 200 yards against the Westfield Shamrocks last week. But Franklin Central's kind of been a surprise this season. They have. They've played some pretty good football so far this season. So, it's just one of those things that Hoosier Crossroad Conference, you can't ever tell what's going to happen there. How about Fishers and Southeastern? Fishers leading 7-0. Rick Wimmers rolling in here 3-0. Going for number 4. And Adam Morris's Hamilton Southeastern Royals are hanging tight there at 7-0.
Well, the Royals tried a field goal there toward the end of the half, and that ended up getting blocked. But the Tigers took an early 7-0 lead, and that's where they are at halftime. And of course, in talking to both of those coaches on the coaches show on Monday, they were very respectful of each other's teams, and both of them knew that it was going to be a tough in the trenches type game in that, which it's turned out to be a rather low scoring game for two teams that have the potential of putting a lot of points on the board. Last week, the Royals played Avon and managed to get 6 points in the first half, but then they came back and scored 21 in the second half. And the Tigers have been rolling almost all season. They have offensively and defensively, everything seems to be gelling for them. And I believe, I believe in talking to Rick Wimmer, the only concern he's got with that team is he says we've got a great team, we've got a great lineup, but we aren't real deep. So they're hoping that they can stay healthy for the rest of the season. But an exciting evening of football here on Hamilton County Television, and Jack Russell and Craig Atkins over there at Westfield at the stadium at Riverview Health Stadium. And so it's I guess it was just the luck of the draw this week, Perry, that all 4 of our games ended up being Hoosier Crossroad Conference games, and it's kind of neat to see that conference kind of spotlighted this week.
Well, I think also too it's great so far this season. In the first 3 weeks, of the season, we got Avon ranked number 1, Brownsburg number 5, Fishers number 7, and Westfield number 10, and only Brownsburg is 2-1. The rest of them are 3-0.
But you got to take into consideration, Brownsburg played their first game, I believe it was in Ohio.
Yes.
Against one of the top-ranked teams in Ohio, and they came close.
Yeah, absolutely. But the other thing too, and I'm not saying this at all that the Hoosier Crossroad Conference is challenging the most powerful conference in the Midwest in the MIC. But so far this season, the Hoosier Crossroad Conference has a 6-2 lead on wins over the MIC. So, we're starting to make some headway here in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference. So it's great for us tonight to be able to showcase our 8 teams in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference.
Well, I can remember back about 15 or 20 years ago when the HCC was established, and a group of athletic directors got together and said, hey, why don't we talk about putting a conference together here? And in that, and it's just, it's grown and continued to grow. It's got good quality programs, not only in football, but basketball, baseball, softball. All the competition in that conference is it's very good, and I would say just and maybe I'm a little biased because I'm from Central Indiana, that between the HCC and the MIC, you got two of the top conferences, probably the two top conferences in the state of Indiana for competition.
Absolutely, and the other great thing too is you and I both have broadcast this year all over the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, especially in Hamilton County. There's a lot of people at the ball games.
Yes.
I mean, at the beginning of the game, before I came over here, and I saw the crowd at the Southeastern Fishers game, which was a huge crowd on both sides, and that's a big game with the Battle of the Mud Sock. I'm sure that at Westfield, the Westfield-Noblesville game has got a huge crowd, and Brownsburg, Avon, that's probably the premier game of the state tonight.
It is. Yeah. Two top 5 teams battling it out for the conference championship, and as I said a little bit earlier, they will probably be battling it out in the sectional again, and we'll have to see where that game is at. I think a lot of the pundits have favored Brownsburg in this game tonight, and so far for half of the game they're correct. They're ahead 3-0, but I've got to believe that home field advantage there for the Orioles, that goes a long way because, once again, not only the quality of the teams, but you look at the quality of the facilities that these teams play in. They all play in excellent facilities, and there's no, there's no second-rate facilities in any of these teams in the HCC or the MIC.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. One thing, Brad, for the viewers out there and everything, if you want to tweet us a score or something, tweet us a score on HC television, and so we can get those scores maybe
Definitely.
of the Mount Vernon New Pal game, or keep up with that Sheridan Delphi game, or even the Hamilton Heights game tonight, because we'd like to see some scores from there and put them on the air and let everyone know how things are going.
Well, Jim has done an excellent job of setting us up with, I guess what I will call multiple PCs here, trying to look in on various games, either television-wise or radio-wise, to try to keep everybody up with the scores. But, if you can give us some help, that would definitely be appreciated.
The one thing about it, and we're trying, we're doing this here tonight, you and I being in the studio, Craig and Jack over at Westfield with Will and Lucas, that we're trying to give you the best possible chance to hear the scores of your favorite team here. And to be quite honest, we're learning ourselves here, because we're running back and forth. You ought to see the studio here, and our tech room's got 8 computers, just like you said, set up. We got TV screens going
Definitely
everywhere.
high tech.
Definitely high tech. The one thing I'm not sure are these two old guys sitting here trying to do this very high tech. But we're having a good time doing it.
But you know what that does? That disproves the old theory: you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah, but I think Jim.
you and I are learning.
Yeah, I think Jim thinks that maybe he can't teach these two old dogs new tricks anymore. But,
of course,
but we're enjoying it, having a good time here, and we're getting close here to starting the second halves of all these football games. And to tell you the truth, we're really enjoying this. And the second half, we're going to have some more scores and everything.
Yeah.
And we'll try to bring you up to date as quick as possible, and try to cut in and everything, because there's a lot of great partnership going on out here with Indiana SRN and us, and as we call the mothership, the IHSAATV.org. So there's a lot of great games going on here. The Fisher students are broadcasting tonight, and we have their broadcasts, and we're just looking to try to let everyone know what's going on in high school football on a Friday night.
Game 2.
We're going to go to game 2 right now, and that's Brownsburg and Avon with Jan Bozier and
Rob Blackman.
Start the second half. The only scoring of this game, a Clay Chase 34-yard field goal with 7:53 to play in the second quarter.
That's hard to believe. I would have thought coming in this game, I thought, man, this is going to be so much scoring. I'm going to have a chiropractor at halftime to fix my neck because we're going to go up and down this field. And that we went up and down the field, but basically the 20 to the 20.
Yeah, right.
You know, but that doesn't mean this thing can't turn into a shootout because the weapons are there.
Avon did have 2 cracks at scoring, 2 missed field goals.
Looks like he was 3 out of 12 for 44 yards. Eli Patrick, 10 carries, 40 yards. Camden Simons, not too bad through the air, 8 of 9, 132 yards and 3 touchdowns. And we got confirmation. Thank you, Andrew Trissler. It's Drew. Wait for it. Knieper. And we're set for Noblesville to kick the ball off here to start our second half of play. Craig Atkins with Jack Russell. Just turned out to be a beautiful night. And Emily tried to snap a picture of the full moon here on Friday the 13th. And apparently that's not supposed to happen for another 92 years.
I guess.
Wow. That just seems unheard of. But Haley's Comet comes around once in a lifetime too, so I think that was before you were born, maybe.
I was trying to figure out.
I think that was when I was 7 in 1986. I'll date myself a little bit. Addison boots it away with his right foot down to the.
Oh, he has to go.
Oh, he caught that at the 1 or 2.
I'll tell you this: we are very observant tonight. We are doing a really good job. Details, and that's what you get with Hamilton County Television with Jack and Craig.
Momentum carried him, so you would think that
I was just waiting.
Run.
I was just waiting for the Colts to call us and tell us that they wanted to give us a shot, Craig. That's how good we are when it comes to the details.
Maybe if training camp would have been a month and a half later, they would have been here close to us.
Lead now, you got a 3-point lead. You go down to score here if you're Brownsburg. All of a sudden, it's a two-possession lead for yourself. Now a little pressure's on that Avon ball club.
Ben Easters brings them off the sideline. Their talented junior QB with Donovan Marcus in the backfield beside him. Easters committed to Kansas, Marcus to Ball State.
You talked about a couple other quarterbacks that we've seen here on Brownsburg and Avon, both playing at big-time schools.
Inside run to Marcus, and he'll bound out to the 29-yard line. Well, yeah, you think about Peters, former Avon QB,
right.
Started at Michigan, now is the starting QB at Illinois. Nice little home for him to find.
Yeah.
Showing up in Champaign and being named the starting quarterback.
Hunter, is it Hunter from Brownsburg?
Correct. Now at Northwestern.
I think he's going to start. I think I heard correctly. The starting quarterback got hurt.
Started his career at Clemson.
Yes.
And is now with the Northwestern Wildcats. So 2 QBs representing these 2 fine schools, both in the Big Ten now, as Marcus tried to run around left end and couldn't get to the first.
And down to about the 44 of Noblesville, pickup of 21. And Westfield looking to make a statement on this opening drive of the third quarter, as they are wasting little time to get down the field here. And now we're approaching the 60-second mark of the second half. 1st and 10 at the Miller 44-yard line. Simons back to pass again. Nice slant play, and he's got his yep. Good slant pattern. And that's caught by 88 Dane Wheeler.
Great pass and catch. And I'll tell you this, one of the interesting things on the replay here, watch the quarterback right away knows his read. I mean, that right there, that's the stuff you got to teach as a quarterback and a coach. I mean, and great job by Westfield.
And you got to love having a seasoned quarterback like Camden Simons as Patrick carries this ball.
And it's tough because a lot of times, especially younger quarterbacks, want to keep their head down. And it's all about keeping your head up, seeing what's going on, and checking your reads. And
a few updates here. Hamilton Heights 33, Northwestern 0. That's a halftime score. Carmel 14, Pike 7. That's almost at the half. Brebeuf 14, Guerin 6. and Western Boone 20, Tri-West 0.
So we're going back to game, are we?
Yeah, going back
from the 20. They're making quick work of the Millers here.
Very quick.
3rd down and 6 at the 17 of the Millers.
Probably one of their longer 3rd downs that they've had so far this game.
We'll see what Simons does here. Play action fake to Patchett.
There it
Rolls out
is.
right and into the hands of Levi Castor. He gets down and he's out of bounds about the 2-yard line. That'll be 1st and goal. Pickup of 15 on that 3rd and 6.
Great job. Really good job right there. There we go.
Hope that's an answer. Patchett sneaks one in from 2 yards away.
And I'll tell you, that is how you start an opening drive in the second half. Great pistol formation. Looks, hands the ball off. And again, it's one of those things, even if you're met a yard behind, especially with Westfield, you got to be careful with those, moving those feet.
Yep,
Absolutely.
keeps moving the feet. Eight plays.
That was a close one too, but they get it in there.
And just like that, 9:22 on the third.
Again, they give it to Burks. He picks up on a couple of yards before he gets pushed backwards. Burks will leave the game. Marcus will come back in. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Picked up about 2 on that, Rob. They're picking on that left side a little bit. Now this is a little different situation with the yardage. It's 3rd and long. And so look for Brownsburg to maybe think play action here. No, they're going to go straight drop back, Rob.
Yeah, empty formation here. No running backs. It's 5 wide in the formation. The tailback, Donovan Marcus, is slot left.
Man-to-man coverage, Avon.
All kinds of time for Easters. Thrown and incomplete. In and out of the hands of Luke Lacey. For a moment, it looked like he was going to haul that thing in while he was falling down. Antoine Wade was again in coverage, and that makes it 4th down.
Boy, this was close. This one's drilled, and really the pass is only thrown where his guys got a shot at it. He really kind of had 3 men all around him. The ball just got so low he couldn't get his hands all the way underneath it. I'm like you, Rob. I thought he may come up with that one.
Tyler Anderson back to field this punt from Clay Chase. Snap a little bit to his left, but Chase gets it, puts the foot into it, and pounds this ball into the end zone. He got all of that one, and that'll bring it out to the 20 on the touchback. So the Avon defense is able to get off the field on the opening drive here of the second half.
But really the Avon or the offense, I should say, Rob, has just really from the last part of that second half has kind of struggled.
Avon on the season, 48 points, 41 points, 30.
Number 6, Andrew Hopkins' pass is incomplete. Intended for number 8, Tony Myers. 2nd down. Number 26, Marvin Wilson on the play. Tackled by 38, Jeffrey Brown. Gain of 2. It's 3rd down.
Opportunity here for the Millers.
Under center. Barrett rolls out, and he
right
is
away
met, and that's Jack Pfeiffer. He's making plays on both sides of the ball for the Shamrocks.
And again, one of those things you got to pay attention to. It's always interesting. As long as your quarterback's running, you got to play a couple of different options, only solely based on they'll watch it.
We've got a flag there about the 38-yard line. We'll see what the two officials, mainly that referee, explain this to be.
Six years Billings tackled on the play by number 36, Madden Sunderland. Sisters will take over with a first down on the Hamilton Southeastern 46.
Makes the fair catch, but a 3-and-out from the Brownsburg defense. So Avon's defense gets off the field. Brownsburg's defense forces a 3-and-out.
Well, it's both teams, and you highlighted early on where the experienced side of the football was defense. And right now, they're doing their jobs. Now, what can happen here, Rob, is slowly but surely, Brownsburg, at least here in the second half, is winning the field position battle. They're starting this drive a little bit better each time. And so they're at their, where's the ball located? About
40, their own 44.
40, yes, 44, my bad. Yeah, still pretty good field position, though.
Easter's hands to Marcus. He falls forward to the 48-yard line. One guy I haven't mentioned yet tonight, and I'll kick myself if I don't, is Jared Hughes, the fullback, who wears number 49 for Brownsburg. You will not see him carry the ball, but I don't know if there's a better blocking fullback in the state.
Yeah, that's a great point. And you know what? He understands his role. He loves it, embraces it, and does a great job.
You see him lining up at that fullback / H-back position every time, and he is the lead blocker for Donovan Marcus. And again, you won't see the ball in the hands of Hughes hardly ever, but he is a key component to this offense. It's now 3rd and 3. They go Wildcat formation, does Brownsburg. And we have a flag before the ball was snapped. Brownsburg tried to trick Avon with a trick formation, and it backfired. They're going to have a false start. They put the tailback Marcus in the quarterback position. They snapped it to him directly, but it's not going to count. Oh, what a killer that is.
Man, just penalties that just some of the most inopportune.
They're thinking, you know what? We can stop these guys. We stopped them. We only gave up 7 points. Now we need the offense, who has had plenty of rest, to get going and to get us something to get on the board.
Anything encouraging to reward the defense, which has, all things considered, only given up one touchdown.
Yeah, and a big return here would be huge for the Eagles.
Crutchfeld gets it off.
Great punt.
Miles Cox will field it. It was a line drive right at him near sideline. He's across the 30-35, wants to cut back, will not be able to. Denied by Franklin Central, and Zionsville will take over at the 33-yard line.
All right, if you're Zionsville here, you got to get a good drive going. You got to get back on your side of the field, get over the 50, which they've only been able to do once tonight, Jonathan. So get down into your own territory and start inching towards that end zone, and you got to finish it off.
Spreading the field on the near sideline, one of the few times we've seen him tonight, John Heath. In the slot in the top is Cam Cooper, Dom Vecchiarella, and Brady Weitzel, who has had an impact in this game. Both of them have had opportunities to deliver for Cole Weissman and Zionsville. Now Weissman, quick throw. Here is Heath. He has the completion across the 40-yard line. 2nd and 3 upcoming for Zionsville.
Yeah, I like the first down play there. A little pitch and catch. Nice pass. Hit him right in the screws. Picks up about 7 yards. Set up a 2nd down and short. Looking to run the football here. You're not in urgent mode here. You don't have to have a sense of urgency, but you do want to continue to get positive plays.
That was Heath's 2nd catch of the year. He's now 16 yards to his credit. Weissman now looks to the other side, and it was skipped and incomplete. Vecchiarella and Weissman have been oh so close yet oh so far away over the course of this game.
Yeah, and
brings up 2nd and 4 at their own 25. And the pistol, he's got a tailback to each side.
There we go.
Simons, pocket collapses, but he finds room up the middle, and he'll escape up to about the 29, where they'll mark him down close to the first down. And they may have to, yep, they will give it to him 4 yards.
Again, another first down.
I have that for 12, 6 at each passing and rushing. Hauser finds his way 35, 40, up near the 44-yard line where he almost broke free again.
Down, and Avon's on the scoreboard.
Boy, he didn't need much, did he, Rob? He got a nice block, and then he turns on the speed that we've highlighted. And this young man, just a sophomore, speed, more speed, more speed.
A 53-yard touchdown run for Krishawn McCray, his third rushing touchdown of the season. And Avon finally gets on the scoreboard with 4:22 to play in the third.
Well, that's the thing about Avon. They're always just like one snap away. They can score.
Extra point try is on the way. It is good, and it's 7-3. The
27-0 our count here. Westfield up,
There it
and
is.
Carson Voorhees, beautiful deep slant pattern.
The piece here that's really interesting, I'll tell you, is the quarterback's patience. He's so patient, waits for the route to go, doesn't overdo it. Pass and catch like that, great job.
Like we talked about the size of that front five for the Shamrocks. When you've got that size in front of you,
Well, the other
giving you
piece,
time.
then the other piece is you have a 6'4" quarterback. That helps significantly.
Oh, that's huge. Up, and that ball is batted down. Looks like
I said that,
Yep.
and then it got batted down.
by a 6'3" Carson Sanders.
There we go.
So that breaks, honestly, a string of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 passes in a row by Simons that were complete. So that makes him 9 out of 11 now, according to my count.
And
That's unofficial.
especially in Coach Gilbert's offense, he didn't have to throw 20, 30 times in a game. It's being patient, being smart, and making sure if you're going to throw 12 times that one of those is not an interception or a turnover.
He does again. Peening catches. Looks like he's out of bounds about the 32-yard line. And that's where they mark him out. 8-yard pickup by Peening.
Rob, and he says, if it don't work, I'll put it in my defense's hands.
Well, it's in their hands now because excellent field
Yes, it
position for
is.
Brownsburg. Their own 46.
Trying to find room to the 20, and there's
a
going to be a
flag.
flag across from the far side. Let's see what they call here.
Here's some third quarter scores for us, Perry. The latest we got from Hamilton Heights is the Huskies are ahead of Northwestern 33-0. Pike is behind Carmel 14-7. Got a good one going down at Lawrence Central. Lawrence Central ahead of the Bears 17-7. Martinsville, Decatur Central ahead of Martinsville 22-0. And over at Brebeuf, 14-7 in favor of Brebeuf.
14-9.
14-9, excuse me, I read that wrong, in favor of Brebeuf, and Center Grove over Ben Davis, 27-7. Cathedral over Chittard, 10-0. Let's go back to action.
The Noblesville 34. Simons back to pass again, finds room, has time. Voorhees with the catch, and he gets knocked out of bounds about the 16-yard line. So a huge 3rd and 4. Picks up 18, does Voorhees. So 1st and 10 at the Noblesville 16. 18 yards on that pickup. This one again, a slant. Dane Wheeler, 88 on the catch. He's marked down about the 8-yard line, so 8-yard pickup by Wheeler. 2nd and 2 at the Noblesville 8. Patchett goes rumbling down to about the 6-yard line, picks up a pair. 3:26 and counting. Brings up 3rd and 1 at the 6. Check that 7-yard line.
.315 left to go in the third. Shamrock's leading this thing 27-0 in the red zone.
3rd and 13. In motion is McClendon. It will go to Ruley. A nice run by Josh Ruley.
Across the goal line.
There it is.
Breaks the tackle. 5.
Oh, they got a hold. It looks like a flag.
Yep.
I'll be coming back.
Holding could make it a 3rd and 11 from the 17. Coming back, just depending on where they spot this, with the holding normally being a spot foul.
It'll be interesting to see if Coach Gilbert goes for it on 4th down, especially as close as they are here. So it'll be 3rd down.
Big 3rd down and 8 from the 14.
Rolls.
Simons lofts one out of bounds.
Half, because it seems to be working here for Avon.
Rob, a team we've seen in week 1, North Central, leads Lawrence North 21-14, 8:34 left in the third.
McCray carries. This time he's running behind right tackle before he gets dumped over there by Jonah Billups. Stretch play that time for Avon.
Avon, Rob, just going to really try to work the chains here.
Noblesville's had some chances to get through it. It's up.
And they block it again. And this is going to be picked up.
Here they go.
And Noblesville's going to run
Somebody's
this ball
going to
back.
catch him. No, he's not going to catch him.
That is Carson Sanders.
That's a touchdown.
And the Noblesville is on the board. Carson Sanders runs that back after blocking the kick. And I'm not sure if he blocked it, but Carson Sanders gets the Millers on the board. Let's see who blocks it. Actually, we just got the replay. It's all right. And off to the races. Carson Sanders went right behind him. It was Blaine McNabb who scored the lone touchdown last week for the Millers. So Carson Sanders.
Now this has happened 3 times tonight on the field goal. I mean, the previous field goal, they missed that one there. Millers have no problem on special teams getting through the line there.
Special teams, honestly, of the 3 facets, might be their best they've got going. And this kick by Graydon Addison is good from 20 for the PAT. And
so the Millers put 7 on the board.
And then you can't go to sleep on Franklin Central, who they play next week.
Avon's got Franklin Central here at Avon next Friday night, then at Fishers the following week. Yes, so often that 6A classification, which hasn't been around long, but it's been dominated by teams out of the MIC when it comes to 1A number 1 in the state, I should say. Well, this week, the number 1 team, the Avon Orioles, out of the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. Krishawn McCray, the carry, and running him down from behind is Dane Middlebrook. You see why Tulane wants Dane Middlebrook so badly. He was the right defensive end, and he ran all the way down the line of scrimmage to run that play down from behind and make the tackle.
Rob, Center Grove 34, Ben Davis 14 after 3 periods of play.
We do have a stoppage of play as a Brownsburg player is down on the field.
People go, hey, did you know Center Grove is 0-3? And I go, did you happen to look who they played?
Exactly.
Warren Central, New Pal, and who am I missing?
Oh, and it's intercepted inside the 2.
Just a bad throw. Was way out in front of him. He had the beat on it, and that's the third interception of the night, and that's been the story here for the offense of the Eagles of Zionsville.
We talked about Mateo Hodge on the hit. There's his younger brother, Luca, who ranged it back like a center fielder in a baseball game, getting another huge turnover, the third interception of the game for Weissman.
We talked about it earlier in this quarter. When you throw in a double coverage, bad things are going to happen. 2 men deep there for Franklin Central. They get the interception. They've got the ball to 2 here.
Looks like 2 yards. That's a 10-yard throw.
Oh, easily.
From a quarterback. So
as far as he threw, and then Patrick catches it.
Right.
Finds room in the flats just to get those 2 yards. And there are stats or people who find those stats somewhere where, you know, how many yards it took to get those yards. Camden Simons on the keeper, gets up to about the 27, 28 they may mark him for 7 yards.
I was going to ask Will if we could go to our pylon cam. He's looking at me like, no, we're not allowed to.
Have not installed yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you know, now they have the ones where the referees have the on their hat.
The hat cam, yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
There we go.
3rd and 1 at the 28. Hand off to Patchett. He finds room. Oh, he's almost stood up.
He's going to get it, though.
Barely gets the 1 yard up to the 30. Actually, they'll give him 2 yards.
And again, that's been the tough piece for Noblesville.
Pushes off one, and a nice short tackle in open space trips them up to the 32.
Best field position of the night for Zionsville, trailing 14-0. It's time to go now with 1:57 to go here in the 3rd quarter. You have to do something starting on the 32-yard line.
All the mistakes that Zionsville's had in offense, the 3 interceptions, the missed opportunities, their offensive line, which should be an overpowering gift, being stonewalled by the defense, and yet Zionsville down 2 has an excellent opportunity here. 1st and 10 from the 31. Cole Weissman, 7 of 18, shifts over Colin Price. He will hand it to Price. Price will prod the middle and will back his way to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, no need to abandon the run just yet. I would only throw it if you had to, so that's a 3rd and anything past 6 yards. I would go to Price and say, we're going to feed you the football, so be ready because we want you to find the end zone here to cut this lead in half. I would not throw the football unless I absolutely had to.
87 on the game for Colin, 5 on that last rush. Go right back to him, and he'll bulldoze his way closer. He's makes it about 3rd and 1, a long one for Zionsville inside the 22-yard line.
Yeah, absolutely. I expect another handoff to pick up that 1st down, move the chains, maybe get 1 or 2 more plays in before the end of the quarter.
3rd and short for the Eagles. The 3 receivers to the left. Brody Weitzel wide to the top. It will be kept by Weissman, and he'll have the 1st down to the 20.
Yep, made 1 man miss on the quick juke move. Gets to the sticks, lanes forward for a 1st down with a minute to play in the 3rd.
And what we've seen so far this 3rd quarter, Zionsville has been able to move the chains. They just haven't been able to punch it in.
It always sticks in the back of your mind when you beat yourself, when you make mistakes that allow the other team to capitalize and to win football games, and that's what stings the most.
And here's Price, another strong run, solid gain, close to 5, gets it to the 15 as clock will trickle inside 35 seconds.
You know, that's the worst, knowing that if you're Zionsville, you could beat this team. You should be tied.
Perry, how about some scores, some updates for us?
Absolutely. Into the third quarter, North Central 21, Lawrence North 14. Third quarter score, Cathedral 17, Chittard 7, Center Grove 34, Ben Davis 14. That's the start of the fourth quarter there. And also
Triton Central.
Triton Central
over Monrovia.
Over Monrovia 34-0. Let's go back to the Franklin Central Zionsville game.
Right, you've given up 2 touchdowns, exactly. Here's Miller's punt. Good punt, high hanging punt. Bounces inside of the 5 and into the end zone. Avon was trying to track that thing down before it got to the goal line, but they could not. So Brownsburg will get the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 20.
Well, you really got to think Brownsburg's thinking, man, we have got to put a drive together here. You don't want this thing come down to the last few minutes and still behind. This is, for me, a really, not the biggest maybe, but it is a big series for this offense with the Bulldogs.
Well, let's see what Ben Easters, their quarterback, can do. With Donovan Marcus, the tailback, behind him. The right side of the formation is the strong side here. And that's where they're running towards. Marcus has a crease. Picks up only 3 yards, however. Quickly that crease was closed. We talk about the speed of the offense for Avon. Well, that defense is pretty fast too.
Yes. Yes, sir. Really felt coming into this ball game that we may be in the 20s for each team at halftime, and we're at 10, and there's only less than 11 minutes left in this ball game.
Easters to Marcus.
Shoulder in, and it will be close, right at it. Where do the referees mark it?
I think he's just a tick shy. Let's see. But as we talked about, Jonathan, some of the spots have been a little iffy tonight.
And they will say 4th down. It's right at it. No measurement taken by the referees. And Colin Price and Zionsville need maybe, 5 inches?
Biggest play of the game right here. We're into the fourth quarter. 4th and 1. I would just line up under center, do a quarterback sneak, but that's why I'm in the booth and not coaching.
The cowbells are rocking, and here's Colin Price.
What a move.
On through.
Touchdown.
He's in. Touchdown.
Wow. What a play. Lower your shoulder. Make guys miss. You needed that. 4th and 1. Price steps up, puts it in the end zone.
Giving it to the best player who just clipped over 111 yards in the game. An 11-yard scamper on 4th down, and Zionsville can cut it to 7 if Chris Freeman can make his 10th or make his 11th extra point of the season.
He's got the win in his direction. This is huge.
That could be an interesting storyline going on later in the game if necessary. A little foreboding there. The holder is Cam Cooper, who plays tight end. He punts and he holds. Jack of all trades, Cam is.
It's always good to have a couple of those Swiss Army knife type guys on your team that you know can go out there and step up in scenarios where you need them and to play different positions.
Freeman waits.
Good snap.
Looks good. It is. He kicked it into the parking lot, and it.
Well, you got to think both these ball clubs, Rob. You look at this sectional 5. You add Pike and Zionsville, certainly good ball clubs, but Brownsburg and Avon clearly a step ahead of both those, at least for right now.
Katrie Dickens made that last tackle, and Easters gets sandwiched as he throws the ball up for grabs, and it is incomplete. And Easters is still down on the ground. Easters got sandwiched between 2 defenders as he lofted that up in the air. Terrell couldn't run under it and slow to get up off the ground. Easters is finally up on his own 2 feet, but he got crushed.
Yes, he did. He absolutely got sandwiched. Take a look here. at the replay. Trips to the right. Here comes Blitz. He gets somebody up there, and there's that last hit that he just took a clean shot. Nevertheless, it was a shot, and Brownsburg just about pulled it off.
3rd and 10. Easter stays in the game. Delivers this throw, incomplete. Almost hauled in there by Luke Lacey, but he was throwing into double coverage. Breaking that pass up initially was the young man who normally is a punt returner, Tyler Anderson. He's a backup DB, and he made a play there.
But, Rob, how many of these long passes for Brownsburg, not one, but always two players on a receiver? I mean, it's just nowhere to catch the football.
You know who else was in on that play? Antoine Wade, who's been in on a ton of plays tonight.
Westfield 27, Noblesville 3
Ooh.
in the 3rd period.
Westfield just beat Zionsville last week.
Westfield's a good ball club.
They are good. They have some really good skill players. Anderson picked it up after
midfield. The Millers can't take that much of a gamble, even though they're down 20. Graydon Addison back out there to punt for the Millers.
The good news is, if they can
go ahead.
Couple updates coming into our Hamilton County Television studios here in Noblesville. Decatur Central still on top of Martinsville, 22-0. Over at North Central, Lawrence North has cut the Panthers lead to 1. Panthers still ahead of Lawrence North, 21-20. Lapel behind Shenandoah, 22-14. Clinton Prairie ahead of Tri-Central, 40-21. Back to the action.
Deep in their own territory. You can feel a little bit of the angst in the stadium. A beautiful
Stevie
stadium
throw.
here. It's McClendon. Makes one juke. It gets it across the 20 to the 25. And it'll depend on the spot. And the down marker man seems to be moving closer. Looks like he should have a first down.
Well, nothing weird has happened too much yet. But you never know. It is Friday the 13th, and there is a full moon, so we'll see what happens.
Harvest moon for the first time. It's the first time for Franklin Central. McClendon been rather quiet tonight. That's only his first catch, 7 yards. He's been involved in the run game.
I like what Franklin Central has been able to do this drive, though. You know, if they went 3 and out again, they'd be punting right around their end zone. But again, you get a couple good runs here, get a couple good positive plays, and you keep the clock running as much as you can.
It'll be Ruley ran right into the belly of Sam Kidwell, and Kidwell did what he normally does, which is trip up people and tackle them.
Yeah, and he's been all over the ball tonight. He's been an excellent defender for the Zionsville defense, making tackle after tackle this evening. And he's not allowed those big plays. I mean, Franklin Central's had maybe 1 or 2 plays downfield. They really kept him at bay.
Gain of 3 by Ruley. He now has 117 on 24.
All right, so Noblesville gets the turnover.
So they will have a very short field at the Westfield 7. And this is something where you have to get 7 out of this.
Oh, absolutely.
So first and goal at the 7, if you will, for Noblesville. 9:22 on the clock here in the 4th quarter. Looks like Little Jack is falling asleep for the night. That carry for the Millers. Looks like Jaden Barrett.
That's what helps them fall asleep, Craig, is we play old videos of us calling games. That
Put anybody to sleep. 2 yards on the pickup by Barrett, as he's trying to orchestrate a short drive to get Noblesville to cut this deficit in half.
And like you said, they got to score here. They need the points.
Barrett fakes it, completes the pass, and that's to number.
And it's in. Touchdown.
Yep, touchdown Noblesville. And student section across the way goes wild, and they unravel.
Take a look at the replay.
13, Luke Deacon.
Quick throw. Nice job breaking some tackles and then.
Luke Deacon with the 5-yard touchdown grab, and just like that, Noblesville creeping himself back into this with 8.5 left. Addison's kick.
Plenty of time on the.
Yeah, he didn't catch it cleanly.
Yeah.
And so that's why the Avon defender came barreling in there. But it is Brownsburg ball now with 7 minutes exactly to go in the game.
Still anybody's game.
7-3, Avon leading. Brownsburg got to be thinking about the fact they don't have a whole lot of possessions left in this game. So they need to take advantage of the ones they have. Easters to throw, setting up the screen. Incomplete. That's because Avon's defense was not tricked. Brevin Good sniffed that thing out from the get-go. Incomplete.
Well, not only were they not tricked, screenplay is a difficult play to run against Avon because their linebackers are so quick and can recover that even if you can get by that first layer, they're not a team that you can play the screen on unless you just can catch them off guard. That's kind of hard to do. I like the play. Probably 8 out of 10 teams, it works pretty well.
2nd and 10. Easters to throw. Quick stop route this time. It is caught, and it is a first down. That time they looked for Luke Lacey, who caught the ball on the left flank and advanced it for a first down.
That's a big play. Big play. They needed to get the chains moved there, and exactly what they did. Still tons of time here, Rob. They go doubles both sides, just try to stretch the field, force the defense secondary to be somewhat overloaded with receivers.
Now back to the ground game. Donovan Marcus falls ahead to the 45-yard line with Katre Dickens, number 99, 6'2", 280-pound senior, holding on for the tackle. We're under 6.5 to go in the game. 2nd and 8, Brownsburg. Back to Marcus. Not a lot of running room there. Picked up a yard, maybe. It'll set up a 3rd down here for the Bulldogs. Peters tackling Clayton Peters for Avon.
Well, it's not only 3rd down, but it's 3rd and long. So, boy, I've used the word big many times, but this is certainly right up there. They got to get a first down, 3rd and long, Rob.
Sprint out for Easters. Throw is incomplete. Out of bounds on that far sideline, right in front of the Brownsburg bench. I hesitated for a moment. Hard to tell from here, but it was incomplete, and now it's going to be 4th and 6.
And I think Brownsburg.
Couple scoring updates here from you for over at Brebeuf. The Golden Eagles have taken the lead from Brebeuf 15-14 in the 3rd quarter. The battle for the Centrals, Warren Central now leading at Lawrence Central 24-14. Back to the action at Avon.
And again, Patchett.
I think that's the tough piece, is with a lead. You know, Westfield, the success that they have is really on a little bit of a high tempo. It's not a no huddle, but it's still a high tempo.
Methodical.
So how do you keep that momentum going from a high tempo type offense, especially with a lead? And so far, see if they can get it down the field. 3rd and 4 though.
Big 3rd down for Westfield's offense because you've got a momentum on defense, special teams, and now Noblesville's offense is starting to click themselves. So Westfield's got to convert something here to keep the clock rolling and keep this drive going, or they give the ball back to Noblesville, who's motivated right now. Simons back to pass.
There it is.
Across the middle and completed.
Again, they've ran that play 2 or 3 times.
To the hands of Jacob Riddle, number 8.
So Westfield gets it, converts it on 3rd down. 1st and 10, pistol formation. Gonna run it again. Gain of a couple.
Eli again with his 20th carry. That's 2 yards on that pickup.
2nd and 8. That clock slowly going away. 6:20.
Slowly going away from Noblesville's favor as well as they played this half. Simons back to pass, another good slant. Peoning taken down right away, but he gets all the way 9 yards down to the 20-yard line, and another Westfield passing.
So the ball is at the nose of the ball, just shy of the 49-yard line for Avon. That's their own 49. Again, 5:23 to play in this huge matchup between backyard rivals Brownsburg and Avon.
Defense, and more defense tonight.
There's that defense
guy
you're speaking of.
Yes, sir.
1-yard run.
I love the big guy.
With Dane Middlebrook making yet another play in the interior for Brownsburg.
I love his game. For the big guy, he just gets off the football so quick. And when you're that big and get off the football with that much quickness, that's tough to defend.
It's been interesting watching him tonight go against Blake Fisher, the left tackle. Now, they haven't been lined up against each other every play, but a number of plays they have been. 2 Division I football recruits going head-to-head tonight. It's been a fun matchup to watch. As here's another short run on the interior for Avon. The clock now ticking near 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining.
To give Noblesville a little opportunity to keep it coming on the comeback. Simons.
Hands off again.
Yep, Patchett up near the 6. Make it the 5. He'll pick up 4 there.
Ball on the 5-yard line, 4:45. Some points here would be big for the Shamrocks.
It's a nice breeze coming through the window now. 2nd goal at the 5. And
false start.
False start, yep. We'll bring it back 5 yards. 2nd and goal at the 10. Simons in the pistol with Patchett behind him, dot in the eye, if you will. Clock rolls and play clock winding down. Gets it off in time. Simons going to the corner of the end zone and incomplete.
Right through the hands.
Almost didn't get that pass off. The playoff brings up 3rd down and 10. 3rd down and goal from the 10.
I still think this is probably 4 downs. I don't think they'll try to kick a field goal again. That's what my gut tells me.
Yeah, I think he wants to keep the confidence in his offense. So Simons, 3rd and goal at the 10, and they'll call a timeout. It looks like. Talk about things. It's West
is your friend here. I know you don't have the entire field to work with, but run the football. Keep it between the out-of-bounds lines and try to keep that clock moving. And a really good way to keep the clock.
Number 12, Michael Drew on the carry into the end zone. Number 2, Jack North on the kick to the Tigers. Steve Poland on the hold. The point after attempt is no
catch huge, and all of a sudden Brownsburg's threatening here.
Williamson is listed on the roster as a defensive back. And a sideline warning has just been issued for Brownsburg. It is not a penalty, just a warning. But a young man.
Pass is complete and in across the goal line, number 88, Dane Wheeler.
Nice job by the Shamrocks, putting the points on the board.
So that pretty much will put the nail in the coffin, if you will, making the deficit 3 scores and way too little time left. And unfortunately, that may bring Noblesville's comeback short, but there's 3:43 left. Who knows what will happen?
So with the extra point up and good, the Shamrocks lead 30.
Shoulder, perfectly thrown football.
And then Lacey took Antoine Wade for a ride. Balls of the 22. Easter's on a sprint out. Goods chasing him. Incomplete. That was Ross England. Ross England was actually chasing the quarterback from behind, and Easter's had to throw it away.
A lot of pressure from the backside. You're right, Ross England, one of the seniors on this Avon Ball Club, was coming from the backside, and he knew it too, so he was trying to get rid of the ball, but still maybe have a shot at a completion.
Clock stops with 2:42 to play. They'll go with the run game here to Marcus. He's inside of the red zone, down at the 15-yard line. Tripped up by Wade.
Oh, he's down. Oh, he gets it. There you go, buddy. Man, he's solid. Take a look at this. Just power running 101. Takes a look. Nothing right there. He scoots outside. And this is what he does so well. Left and right, he's awesome. He sees the field so well. Cuts outside, gets more yardage.
3rd and 4 with 2 minutes and 9 seconds to play. Easter's to throw. And, we had a timeout called.
Oh, no.
Right. Delay, a false start. False start. I thought it was a timeout. It was actually a false start. That is a backbreaker for Brownsburg because they had Ty Matthews wide open for a first down.
John Hart is beside himself. He can't.
Line in the, I don't know. I don't know about throwing it deep like that. I just don't see you in double coverage where that made a whole lot of sense.
I think a strong argument could be made to exactly your point, Tony. And now 1st and 10 for Zionsville with 3 minutes and 26 seconds to steal a game. Try to go for the tie. Needs 7.
No need to completely abandon the run here. You've got, I believe, 2 timeouts, and they won't. They'll handle off there, get a good chunk play.
Easters wants to throw. Lets it fly for the end zone and just overthrew Luca Lacey. Lacey had gotten a step on the defender, and the ball was just a smidge overthrown.
Yes, he did. He got behind the defenders, a little pump and go by the quarterback, but just overthrows him maybe by about 6 inches. He had enough real estate, I think, had the ball been there, maybe to have at least a great attempt at it.
Well, this here, play of the game, 4th and 9.
Here we go, buddy. Play of the game for sure.
Empty backfield. 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. Crowd is standing. Timeout, Brownsburg.
Wow.
We'll reset it for you. 141 to.
Perry, we've got some updates.
Chittard's taking the lead now, and they're up 21-17 over Cathedral in the 4th quarter. Greyhounds opened up the league. Carmel Greyhounds 17, Pike 7. Decatur Central 34, Martinsville 12. We got Pendleton Heights 40, Greenfield Central 0.
Warren Central 24, Lawrence Central 14.
Okay, we need to go
and let's get back to the action.
Winning the biggest game in the state right now, right here.
They're on their feet on both sidelines. The fans for Avon standing. The fans for Brownsburg standing. Easter's on a sprint out. Delivers at the sticks. Incomplete. And the Avon defense holds, and it is no surprise that Antoine Wade, number 7, is the man over there making a play.
Well, the storyline of this ball game.
I wouldn't mind a run here. I wouldn't mind a run to Price here. Try to get a couple of yards. Maybe he breaks something to get you a first down.
Doctor ordered it, and Price delivers a burst, and he's still going inside the 5. The game it's a 1-point game.
What did I say? Give it to him. Maybe he makes somebody miss to get a big chunk of yardage. That's exactly what happened. The delayed draw makes 2-man miss, and just like that, it's been all Zionsville here in the second half with the all-important extra point coming up to tie.
We have one of the best kickers, if not the best kickers in the state of Indiana, Chris Freeman. He's getting looks from everyone, and he has to deliver this. For him, a chip shot, it would be he's made 11 so far this year. Cooper the hold. The snap has to be pure, as does that hold from Cooper. And here it comes.
Low snap. Gathered it. Yep, he's going to hit a bus.
He almost did. He almost hit somebody, but the game is...
You are declared the victor. Anything can happen for sure. Avon has got to take care of the football.
Now remember, we saw just on the last possession for Avon the bobbled snap between quarterback and center.
Just been so well played.
So to your point, Big Jan, this game is not over. Brownsburg has got to find a way to get the ball back. Hessen will line up in the shotgun. They will keep it on the ground. Jalen Love tackled immediately by Brownsburg's Cameron Keys, number 7. Timeout Brownsburg. They have 1 timeout remaining. They stop the clock with 90 seconds to play.
Touchdown, Hamilton Falcons Surrey. Number 6, Andrew Hobson's pass is complete to 86. DeAndre Rose who goes into the end zone. Number 96, Alex Dolores on for the point after return. Number 5, Luke Critters. The point after attempt is no good.
Playing the game, 7-3, Avon leads. Avon football. Brownsburg has 1 timeout remaining. They'll keep it on the ground. Hessen will keep, and it will be tackled immediately. And I mean immediately. He had nowhere to run.
Couple quick updates here. Down in the city, it's Cathedral over Gittard now, 24-21. Center Grove still over Ben Davis, 41-20. And we also have Warren Central and Lawrence Central, 24-14 in favor of Warren Central. Back to the action.
One would assume Avon's going to keep it on the ground. They want to use as much time as possible so they can punt the ball with less than a minute remaining. But without question, Brownsburg, if they can get a stop here, they're getting the ball back.
Well, Brownsburg has so many different weapons, especially with their quarterback and the receivers they have. If they can just get the ball with one shot, they still have a shot. So this is a big play for Avon as well, because field position, they're going to, if they don't get something here, Brownsburg still should have really good field possession, even if it's for 1 or 2 shots at it.
Brownsburg now out of timeouts. 3rd and we'll call it 13 for the Orioles. What a great game this has been.
Yeah, both teams. And we knew that. John Hart, 2 state championships. Coach Bless, 13th, 14th winningest coach.
Timeout, Avon.
What more do you want?
Play call in. You're at 1:30 remaining. We'll see what happens here. You got 2 wide receivers to the left. Toe's obviously been a safety blanket. They're letting him have 8 to 10 yards. Look for Toe again to go about 6 yards out and cut back and wait for the pass.
On 1st and 10, V-Way stands back on his 37, hands it off to Ruley. Good run by Josh, gets it to the 44. And the play is blown dead.
I'd take a timeout here. And they will.
Josh Williams to carry.
So again, you're going to have a 2nd and 8 coming up.
We're going to take a break here, and we'll be back in a moment on Indiana.
27 wins.
Quality. And quality coaches. They coach football the way it's supposed to be coached. And kids want to play for them.
Well, here we go now, 3rd and 13. They will keep it on the ground, give it to Love. Met initially in the backfield, spun out of one tackle, and then Cameron Keys tackled him to finish him off. Now the clock will run here.
Yes.
Play clock is at 33, game clock at 1:12.
Avon's going to let this thing run down until they absolutely.
Now, unless Mason Miller can get off a monstrous punt.
And he has.
Brownsburg should get it in pretty good field position.
He's had some monster kicks today.
We're under a minute to play. Now under 50 seconds, as a matter of fact.
Play clock's at 5.
Will they take a timeout or take the penalty?
They may just take a penalty.
They'll take the timeout instead. So Avon takes its final timeout with 40 seconds to play.
Clock would still be rolling.
70 seconds to go, Tony. 3rd and 7 for Franklin Central. Zionsville ever so close to getting the Flashes off the field again.
I'm calling for my guy, Sam Toe, here again. He's been the safety blanket for the Flashes. You don't need all 7 yards here. You would like that. I would say get right to around the 50, 49-yard line, turn, catch the pass.
He's
in the
standing
slot.
right by the 40, in between the 40 and the 45, bottom of your screen.
Look at the room that they're giving him.
V-wave.
He lost it.
He lost the ball. It's on the ground. Zionsville dives on it. Is it a turnover? Was it a fumble?
I think it's an incomplete pass. Wow. The pressure huge there for Zionsville. Almost was a fumble, and you're going to have to punt the ball away here with a minute to go on 4th and about 7.
Last time Franklin Central punted, Miles Cox tried to make a man miss and fumbled the ball, and putting Franklin Central in excellent field position. Earlier in the game, he broke a big return down the far sideline.
I don't even kick it to him. I try to either boom this over his head, which is going to be hard, or I try to boot this thing out of bounds right around the 30-yard line.
Crutchfeld has to
Bad
move
snap.
over to field it.
And they're going to kick it right to him.
Pressure is on. Fair catch inside the 20.
Average special teams units for Avon could not have played that one any more perfectly. Joseph Sargent, who's a starter on the defensive backfield, was one of the guys in coverage. He helps make the tackle. And so Brownsburg at least is going to have a chance with 30 seconds to go in the game and the ball at their own 46-yard line.
Great coverage, as you talked about on that. Ahmad Walker keeps him from getting the corner, and that was the difference maker there. So you got 30 seconds, Rob. You got a time, maybe 2, 3 at the best. Here we go.
No timeouts remaining for either team. Empty backfield here for Ben Easters. See if Avon will bring some pressure or play it safe. They will bring a blitzing linebacker. Easter steps up, in some trouble, lets it fly. That ball is intercepted by Sargent. Intercepted by Joseph Sargent. He's at the sideline of Avon. He'll finally go down, tackled by Lacey, and that will put this game to bed.
70 yards. There's also the sure-handed, though infrequently targeted Trey Firestone. That's Miles Cox in motion. It'll go to Price up the middle, and he gets stuffed at the 21-yard line.
And we're playing for overtime. Oh no, we're going to take a timeout. So I don't mind that on first down running the football, but second down and 10, when you're at the 20-yard line, I think you got to. They've been running it during timeouts. They've been running the clock. So 44.3 left. I would have done that on the first down, but second down I don't know about that play. You got to fire it in the air, because if you don't get anything here, you're going to punt it away, and then it's definitely going to go to overtime.
This sounds like it's been a tough game for Coach Donahue in the booth.
You know,
it's just frustrating.
You know, my 0-0 record is still on the line.
You know, you're not above 500, you're not below. You're just cruising. You're held in it steady.
Not great. I'm not terrible.
A couple out-of-town scoreboard updates. Traders Point Park Tudor, fourth quarter. Traders Point in a squeaker, 42-13. Beech Grove and Cecina. Cecina came roaring back, 55-35. Guerin leads Brebeuf, start of the fourth quarter, 15-14. And Heritage Christian leads Eastern Hancock, 31-20. New Pal, 42. Mount Vernon, 7. So we believe Zionsville has at least one more timeout. It is 3rd and 7. Deep in Zionsville's own territory.
You got to take a look 21. Got to take a look at Brody Whitesell here. He's got one-on-one coverage, bottom of your screen. He's been your safety blanket. He's been your go-to guy. 3-step drop. Now he looks, fires it. There he is, wide open.
Through his hands.
A little bit of an overthrow there, man. That would have been that would have made things a little bit interesting. Now you punted away, and I think we're going to be playing for overtime here.
Well, we'll see. Cam Cooper will go back into the soccer markings here on the field. It is deep in his own territory. Avon beat Brownsburg 7-3 in the clash of one of the better clashes of the weekend. But here in this HCC one, now Franklin Central, if you can get a good return, have an opportunity to claim that victory, that elusive second HCC win.
Let's see what happens. He's right around the 50-yard line, back deep to receive. If he can get it there and get a few yards, all of a sudden you're looking decent. He's going to have a great chance at a return.
Cooper gets it right at him. Makes Williamson miss. Makes another miss. Ewers, right side, tries to turn the corner, and he's unable to do so as Luke Nolan maybe saved a touchdown.
Holding. Let's see if it's on Franklin Central.
One of the flashes is signaling it against Zionsville. He's talking to the referee.
If this is on Zionsville, all of a sudden you're going to have a couple. Wow.
It's a hit to the helmet against Zionsville.
Wow.
And the flashes are in excellent field position with 39 seconds to go.
They better get that field goal kicker warmed up. You got 2 timeouts. I don't know what you do here. I think you could still have a chance to run the ball once, see what you can get. You need positive yardage, depending on where this.
Go. Barry, we've got some final scores rolling in here. Our last score update of the night. Pendleton Heights over Greenfield Central, 40-0. Carmel and Pike, 24-7 in favor of the Greyhounds. Out at Eastern Hancock, Heritage Christian is ahead of Eastern Hancock, 20-0. Guerin and Brebeuf, 15 for Guerin, 14 for Brebeuf. Warren Central over Lawrence Central, 24-14. Decatur Central, 34. Martinsville, 12.
New Pal, you got
New Pal. We have New Pal over Mount Vernon, 42-7.
End of the third quarter.
End of the third quarter. Columbus East over Jeffersonville, 41-7. And Avon has defeated Brownsburg, as you saw on the screen there, 7-3. Westfield beats Noblesville, 34-14. Other scores: North Central over Lawrence North right now, 35-20, late in the fourth. Center Grove beats Ben Davis 48-20. Clinton Prairie leading Tri-Central 40-21. Triton Central is ahead of Monrovia 41-0, and Shenandoah over Lapel 22-14. That's the latest we got from the scoreboard. Let's go back to the action.
Not see the field goal kicker warming up for Frank.
Well, we're back here at the studios here. It's been a great night for football week 4. We're kind of halfway, right?
Yeah, about halfway into the season here.
So a lot of homecomings coming up here in the next week or
Next
so.
couple weeks, yeah.
So a lot of things are going on. Brad, you want to take us through a couple things we'll be broadcasting this week?
Yeah, coming up this week, we'll be at Noblesville for girls soccer coming up Wednesday night at 7. Next Friday night at 7, the Zionsville Eagles come to Noblesville to play football. And, of course, we will be back on the air Friday night with game day at 7 o'clock. Surprise of the evening, Perry. Not surprised it was a close game, but that Avon-Brownsburg game at 7-3, I was surprised at the low score in the thing.
Absolutely. That totally surprised me, but that's why we play the game.
Well, on behalf of Perry Williams, our executive producer Jim Wofford, I'm Brad Silbert saying good night.
It's a wrap.
Wait, we're still on the air, guys.